and I was like, finally, I'll know what these are for. And I came here and I was like, they're for fucking nothing.
Really surprised how much I like this game.
Fucking crazy shit is happening. There's aliens. Go get them. And you're just in it, and it feels really good, and it looks really cool.
Every fucking step I took in that game was something I did not want to deal with.
It's a product of its time. I found it both rewarding and frustrating.
What's up with that, man? They couldn't even do RNG, man.
I think they meant that to be something and literally forgot.
Danny picks hard fucking games. I'm too old for this shit. I don't care anymore.
Everything about this game rubbed me the wrong way.
It was really good, and then it was really bad.
Listen, okay, I was drunk and high, my feet hurt.
A joyless piece of shit.
Yes!
It's a video game-ass video game.
No, dude.
All right, we're back, and we're better than ever. Except for not, because we're technically down a person. What's up, everybody?
I'm crying.
Victus.
How's it going?
Yeah, very
Darth,
victim.
where are you?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we are down young Darth for this episode. He may show up, maybe he forgot, but he's, as always, here in spirit. But we are gathered here today for the holy matrimony of Legacy of Kain and Blood Omen. No, so the game we were playing this month was Chris. It was your pick that we were going through, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's hold on. But yes, we were playing Blood
You're
Omen,
forgiven.
Legacy of Kain. One of Chris's picks on the wheel. Hey, we could have gotten Simon's Quest, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We live in an alternate universe where maybe that was a better or worse thing. But Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, 1996. So it's a oldie but oldie. Came out on the PlayStation and here in North America, November 1st, 1996. And on Windows, actually almost a year later, September 3rd, 1997. But before we jump into this lovely playthrough, what you gentlemen been playing recently?
I want to go first.
Yeah,
Mhm.
go. Do it.
I want to go first. I'm so excited.
You want to go first?
No, I'm just kidding. I've been playing Clair Obscur. Game's amazing. And then I've been... please get ready to laugh at me
Okay.
because I deserve it.
Power
I've been
word.
playing World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria pre-patch. It's pretty fun.
Pre-patches are always pretty juicy.
It's hilarious. I've been playing Doom and making the maps in Doom.
Yeah, I've been enjoying watching your Doom
Yeah.
map making because I have no idea how that all works. So it's just like watching wizardry.
It's a lot of fun. Surprisingly easy. Anyway, I think anyone could do it, honestly. Yeah,
You
that's what I've been up
You should put a cyber demon.
I will right now, ready?
Yeah.
Make it too.
We could a Cyber Demon could be our 6th here.
Okay, I thought you said sex theater, and I was like, okay, Cyber Demon sex theater.
It's kind of what we're watching on screen right
That's
now.
my next map. I'm writing that down right now.
Sex theater.
I'm gonna say I would absolutely click on a video that said Doom level Cyber Demon sex video. I'm like, all right. But to answer for Darth, who isn't here because I kind of can, I've been playing a lot of Deadlock with Darth here and there. That game, it's weird. It's a weird mix of things that hits just right for me. Like good movement, it's fun shooting, the leveling up MOBA abilities, and I don't know. It's very infuriating at times, but it's a lot of fun to play. But other than that, just started Ghosts and Gobblers Resurrection after finishing System Shock 2 Remake, which I highly recommend. And Ghosts and Goblins, pretty fun, but you know, it's a video game.
It's the game. I agree. How about you, Colin? I mean, what you said, Mrs. Pandaria. How about you, Holden?
How about you, Holden?
I've been playing Borderlands for the first time in oh god, when did the first one come out? I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, I was about to say you probably don't even want to know.
2009.
Tiny Tina and 2. Tiny Tina was Dog Water. 2's awesome. I played Resident Evil 8 because it went on sale, so I finally played that. That was interesting. Replaying the Metroid Prime series. I'm on 3, and then You guys have been hearing me spread the good word of Sifu. That's the
Oh
main
yeah, I
one.
gotta buy that. All the Steam sales going on.
I want to ask you something about your Metroid Prime playthroughs. How are you playing on hardware? On real hardware?
Yeah, I do one on the Switch version, the remake. 2, I play emulated. 3, I play emulated, but I plug my Wii in so I can power the sensor bar. It's all sorts of weird, but yeah.
Interesting. Chris?
I've not really been playing anything despite buying a Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart is Mario Kart. Tears of the Kingdom runs at 60 FPS. That's cool.
Woo.
And then I've been playing this game. Actually, well,
I feel like that's a good intro into this game. All right. So Holden, I think you are the only one of us who has played this before, correct?
Yeah.
Well, technically, I played like 5 minutes of it back when it was new.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's
I
interesting.
made such a lasting impression in that 5 minutes that you just had to finish it.
Did you think it was
a
cool?
rental. It was a rental that I didn't rent, so I just played a little bit right before it got returned.
Fair enough. All right, Chris. You know what I'm gonna do is your pick. I'm gonna have you let it rip. What are you?
okay. So I kind of picked this one, like a lot of my other choices, I think, and a lot of our choices in general. Just a very celebrated fan favorite series, and I'd never played any of them before, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to get a taste of what the series is about. And I wanted to start with the first one. I think people really hold the series in high regard, especially Soul Reaper games.
Yeah, those are the
Maybe-
ones I've heard about. The one that you play is Raziel, I think. Those games.
Yeah, and maybe those ones are the ones that people actually like, because this game fucking sucks.
Okay. All right. Thanks for somebody else saying it. This game was an absolute nightmare to play, and I hated about every second of it.
Yeah, I flushed it. I couldn't do it.
I can speak for Darth here because he mentioned something to me. He also could not finish it. He said
He's gonna join in a second.
He said he did his time, and he was like, I did it for Chris. It's like, good job.
I'm
soldier.
sorry to put this on everyone.
No, that's why
You're
we're
good.
here.
Chris, listen, don't be sorry.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love this game.
Somebody
Oh.
else.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear your take on it.
We got a discussion, Brian.
All right.
I was afraid that I was gonna be the most positive on it, but now I'm pumped. Super loved it.
I mean, like.
Do you want me to go next since I'm
Yeah.
the beaming light of positivity here?
Yes, we need this.
Okay. So when I first played this game, well, before I played it, I watched someone play it for like an hour, and I remember thinking it's a lot like Link to the Past because I played that game a ton as a kid. It's my favorite game of all time. And I thought this is like a dark, gritty, cool Link to the Past with an attitude. And I don't know, as I was playing the game, yes, I can acknowledge its many faults. Like its weird hit detection, it's how it's cryptic about everything, how the menu, it's like whoever made that menu where you equip shit, they were on drugs. They were just on some really bad drugs. Like it looks cool, I get what they're going for. But anyways, I don't know. The way I treated this game was you explore. I spent a lot of time in this game. And I explored quite a bit, and there's secrets everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
there
there's
definitely is.
so much hidden shit.
Apparently, I found 15.
And some of my enjoyment from this game may have come about because of luck, because a lot of the switches you find, you can't really tell they're switches, right? But like I would walk into walls on accident a lot of times. It's just activate switches. But I did get an eye for them, and you know, there are some puzzles where you have to press switches randomly in no particular order for no reason to open doors. That I can see being bad, but I don't know, like the combat wasn't anything interesting or engaging. It's just simple swing and but I liked the atmosphere. The music was great. The voice acting for its time is A+.
Yeah,
It's stellar.
Even still, it's
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
still A+ for sure.
Not only the voice acting, but the writing. The shit that Kain says is like poetic. Dude.
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
he's reading from classic literature. It's great.
Mhm.
he was a 50-50 for me. Sometimes it felt like somebody was just like, let me
Yeah,
type
there
into
was some-
Google or Microsoft Sam in the ye old English, like,
No, Donnie.
My bad, my bad, my bad.
easy.
It's okay, Darth. We forgive
Hey,
you.
Chum.
Darth's here, everybody. Yay.
Ladies and
Woo!
gentlemen, woo! Kelly Bundy.
It's a classic couch time travel conundrum. You know how it is.
I
So
do
Chris
know
called
how it
it.
is.
Was there any spaghetti involved?
No, but I was out fishing since like 12, and I also might have been drinking too. So
I'll do it.
There you go. Living life, Darth. Keep doing it. So, we'll let Darth go after this, unless anyone else wants to. But, the way I don't know, I just enjoyed being in this game's world, and put it that way.
Mhm.
And the atmosphere and just the overall feeling of the game for me was what allowed me to also enjoy the mindless, mundane combat, and bad level design, and bad controls, and cryptic shit that doesn't make sense, that takes forever to figure out, and the difficulty spike, like, wow. But I don't know, I really enjoyed my time with this game, and I spent a lot of time with it. I found it hard to put down, to be honest. There was one specific thing I wanted to mention that I forgot, but I'll remember. Go ahead, Darth.
but like my first impressions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there-
or
Hey,
your
real quick, what's
overall.
Darth been playing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what have I
you
been playing? The new like chapter of Deltarune, like that stuff came out, so I've been playing that. Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm a Gen Z, okay? Come on, guys. We like those games, okay?
Is it good?
Yeah, I think it is good. You fucking crusty old man.
I was the one that didn't
Dude,
say
Really
anything.
didn't say anything.
Yeah, but I know you were thinking.
I had
hear,
the
I can hear your
Deltarune
thoughts
is,
from here.
I had
It's
the
like
original bought it recently, so-
Undertale too. It's good. I think it's good. If you like, dude. Anyways, that's a different discussion for a different time.
Gotcha.
That's what I've been playing. I've also been playing Night Rain. Been playing just random bullshit. You know how it is.
Nice.
He didn't even say deadlocked and he is getting a divorce.
No.
Oh, that's a given.
Yeah, he knew I had that covered for him.
That's been a given. And then my first impressions too. Did you guys already do that?
We're in the middle
It's
of it.
your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I was actually like very, very into this game. Just starting, I was like really immediately taken by like the music and the atmosphere, and the voice acting kind of like blew me away. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not sure like how advanced the graphics were for the time.
Pretty standard.
Oh, okay. Because like kind of when I was playing, I was like, oh man, maybe if I was like a caveman, I would have thought these graphics were like crazy back then.
Especially when you zoom in. Oh shit.
But no, like there was visually and audibly, the game was really engaging. But I think it was kind of like there's a certain point where I realized I had like 40 plus Hearts of Darkness, and I was like, like a good like 10 hours into the game, I was like, oh man, this is a slog. This is not engaging me anymore, and so I fell off super hard. So like it was really weird, where it was like I had a hard time putting it down when I started, but I did not even finish it. I literally could not keep going. I could not keep battling through the slog, unfortunately.
You know what's crazy about that, Darth? Is
What?
you forced yourself to get through Alien Isolation, and you did Xanadu, and you did I think it was Croc for Klon, but this was the game. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I just yeah.
Well,
It was just too much of a slog for me.
there's nothing fun about this game. Those other games, there's enjoyment to be found.
Let's go, Croc.
Let's go Grog. Wazoo or whatever.
At least it was whimsical.
I mean, I'll go ahead and go next. Like if you're watching that gameplay footage, that was just on the screen that I literally got lost because I didn't know that it was some random switch combination. I remember thinking, oh, that's weird. And I was like, I must have missed something, or like a voice line where he says something. I was like, that's fine. And similar to Darth, I was kind of into it, and I was like, yeah, this is a pretty old game. Where the blood spurts out when you hit something, like it was kind of cool. And I started my playthrough. I was like, I'm not gonna kill those innocent people on the wall. Well, that didn't last for more than 2 seconds because I was like, oh god, my health bar. But yeah, just everything about this. My controller stopped working, so I played probably about 80% of this game with one hand on, like, left hand on my keyboard, just going around mashing Alt the whole time. So I think I would have had more fun.
Did you not rebind the keys at all?
I didn't care enough. Like,
dang, holy cow. Okay.
So I just literally WASD'd and Alt keyed with control to do the suck here and there. And I would have had more fun watching like YouTube AMV with Bark at the Moon playing in the background, reading something in Old English. Like, it's just
a good time though.
Oh my, yeah, that does sound like fun. It was the difficulty spike. It's funny. I never experienced that because I always had the repel shield on and just mashed Alt the whole thing. That's all I did this game. And
what'd you do when you ran out of mana?
I used those mana juicer things.
They do give you a lot of juicers.
I guess I didn't use those right. We'll talk about it, I guess.
But no,
Juicers, I don't.
there were times when I did run out of mana. And do you know how you get your mana back?
Sit there and wait.
Yeah, you don't.
Kill ghosts.
You just fucking wait, or you kill
Yeah,
ghosts,
or
and
kill
you get
ghosts,
like
yeah.
a millimeter. And it's just
You
like,
gotta preserve your mana, dude.
like Super said, like the menus, yeah, they look cool. They look all right. But navigating those menus, and X confirms on some screens, but square confirms on others, and the weapons and the shields or the armors are together, and I don't even know what the fuck half the armors did because he said some garbage about it. The Wraith armor is indivisible from the real world and steel. I'm like, cool. What does that fucking mean? What does it do? And the Chaos
Look at the
armor?
booklet.
When the enemies attack you, they feel my pain. I'm like, does it do damage to them? I don't know. Enemies take 30 hits unless you have the flame sword, and then they take 10. It's like,
Interesting.
like everything.
Interesting.
And the Soul Reaver, I was like, oh, cool. I finally got the Soul Reaver. It takes all your mana. It sucks. Like, it does hit really hard. But it was just like,
For that one hit.
for that one hit, it's pretty cool. I thought the Nut Raptor fight was really cool. And I was like, oh, cool. All the boss fights in this are going to be really interesting. And then there's not another boss fight for like 3 hours. And it's 2 dudes. One makes puddles, and the other one stands the fuck away, and you just shoot lasers at him.
Yeah,
was
that
just
one's
like-
so whack.
I was like, what the fuck is this game? Like, I was just... Every time I had fun with something, it immediately got shit on. Because I was like, okay, I tried to be positive. I liked, for a bit, how the game, like Super said, like, almost like Link to the Past. You get a new item, you do this with it. And it's like, okay, it opens up this path. And then that kind of shits the bed around the time you get the mace and you open up the new paths. And I got a vista to go to Vorador's mansion. And I was like, okay, this must be where I go. And I go to Vorador's mansion, completely stuck. Have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Can't
My
do
God.
anything. I got halfway through his mansion and couldn't figure out how to progress. I'm like, I guess I'm missing something?
Was that the mind control thing?
Yep.
Yes, dude, that
Yeah.
was
And
like
there's
that was
Yep.
the biggest thing for me,
And
dude.
there's like
Snow
no
got
hint
destroyed
that you
there.
use mind control because the part where you're supposed to use it the first time, you can jump over as the werewolf.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I
could
did.
literally just sit here and just barf on like everything that irritated me in this game, but it's just gonna be me talking for 2 hours. So yeah, I did not have any fun with this game.
I think that specific mind control spell and how easy it is to walk past, and I say that given our sample size of 6, it sounds like at least 3 of us did the exact same fucking thing. I think it shows a real problem with the level design and the inconsistency of how they structure the world into dungeon, into world, into dungeon. And when it works like Link to the Past, it's I think like I had some fun with this when it was not making me feel like a fucking ape. You know? But like when it I had to go back and rub ham and be like, okay, what fucking building did I miss to find this stupid thing? And I had to look up the mind control thing because I was like, I have no idea where this thing is, and I was tired of I wasted like an hour looking for it, and I said fuck it and looked it up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, if I may add something, I feel like maybe I got lucky because I just like stumbled upon everything I needed like before I needed it. Like I don't know. And every time I saw an enemy elevated, like in an elevated position, I'm like, oh, mind control.
That was my first playthrough too, Super.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just kind of stumbled across and didn't run into any of those. Oh, I don't have a thing.
Yeah. I did get stuck, but like it wasn't to the point where I was like, wow, like I'm gonna have to look this shit up. Yeah, I mean that it does speak to the poor level design. Most games will funnel you towards necessary things, right? They'll gently guide you.
Yeah,
this game just like places them arbitrarily.
I just accidentally got gas stationed by that Vista Point.
I think, well, yeah, I think it's just kind of maybe not great game design because like the first one you go through, you're like, oh yeah, I fly to the place and then I do the place, and then the next time that happens, I think it might even be the third time at that point. If you follow that same,
it's like don't do that.
If you follow that same thing you did, then you actually get screwed, which is just I think it's just bad design.
I kind of love that freedom the agency gives you to.
Me too.
To
but it's like teaching you the wrong thing.
Exactly, that's the problem. And like I think the game actually does a pretty good job doing that kind of stuff up to that point that I felt kind of like I felt like personally attacked when it worked out that way. I was like, no, you were doing so good. You were doing so good, and then
You're rooting for it.
Yeah, I really, really was. But then after that, I was like, okay.
Okay.
And I was mad. I need to be real. I was really mad.
May I go next?
Go ahead.
Sort of some summary thoughts here. So I think I am not as positive on it as Super is, but nowhere near as down on it as Danny was. I played the entirety of this game across maybe 4 different days in several large sessions, and I was juggling playing Cataclysm WoW because I was enjoying that and playing Clair Obscur, but I kept finding myself I want to play more Blood Omen, even though I would often be pissed off playing it. Rachel, if she were here, she'd be like, yeah, he was a salty bitch. You know, frequently when playing this game, because Kain moves so fucking slow and your mana takes so long to come back, and these hitboxes are bad, just bad. And I'm like, where am I standing? Where's my hurt box? I don't know. Oops, I'm in the water and I'm dead. Ooh, the heart of darkness, and it takes 20 fucking seconds for him to wake up again.
Everything in this game takes 20 fucking seconds. You want to be the werewolf? 20 seconds. Go back from the werewolf? 20 seconds. Go in the Batman? I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's not the heart of darkness. It's the heart
of darkness.
Yeah, of darkness.
But I
complain about that, but in Dark Souls they all talk in slow motion too. So.
But you can just mash through it. You don't gotta listen to them. Fuck them.
That is a very good point.
So, but anyway, sorry. Let me just wrap up. I often felt like this game was really interesting, often interesting, but rarely actually fun to play. But it kept pulling me back because the music was really cool. I liked the art. The colors are good. You know. But there's just so much about playing this game that is just grating. And I think if you can overlook that stuff and just embrace it as at least in this version, a very intentional, slow-paced game, you can vibe with it. But on that note, what I think is interesting is that this version, I think the PC version runs at 42 frames a second, and is why Kain is so goddamn slow. And why everything is so slow, but the PlayStation version runs at 60. And if you haven't watched footage of how fast Kain moves in that version of the game, it's really amazing. I think You should, and I wish we had played that version because I know Danny would have been less pissed. I would have been less pissed.
I would have been
'Cause
less pissed.
Yeah, because I was doing the same thing he was, like constantly going into werewolf mode, which meant I was like frequently negative on mana, you know, where
Can't
versus
cast
where I should have
magic.
been. Yeah, so. But I think overall I'm still on the positive side with this game. Couldn't tell you what the story was about. Fucking who
Oh
knows?
yeah.
Listen,
No,
Nuthraptor and then Bane and the Pillars of Nosgoth.
This,
And,
oh
and
man,
the
this
one guy
story
was,
is.
No, I will say the story could be engaging. You know what? Since we're talking about the story, you know what? One thing pissed me off. You know that FMV they show at the beginning, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is cool,
Oh, yeah.
I guess. And then you get halfway through the game where it actually introduces Vorador and plays the same cutscene, but more. And you're like, oh, this cutscene makes sense now. It's like, well, why did you wait fucking 6 hours for it to make sense?
It's an artistic choice.
Apparently.
They were trying to wow you.
I mean, it is by Silicon Knights, and we know there are other games. Eternal Darkness isn't anybody's pick, right?
I hope
No, I
not.
wanna
I mean,
play
I don't
that.
know.
It might be actually.
I don't think so. Because yeah, they have a kind of certain way of having really
Style.
bizarre stories with a bunch of characters and a bunch of like things you're supposed to keep track of. Like it would irritate me when you'd step on one of those squares and it would just start talking and I'm like, wait, who is this? Like, am I supposed to recognize the voice? Like, I don't know who this is. It's just
Yeah, having context for this. So this is part of my opening thoughts actually. I played this 3 years ago because my friend told me to.
and you lost a
fellow game
bet, so you had to
developer.
beat it.
Pretty much, he's like, Holden, you gotta play this game. It's amazing. I think I played it in like 2 sit-ins, and it was just a slog. And just like you guys, I was like, what the heck is going on in this story? And it was intriguing. I enjoyed the fact that I had played the game. I didn't enjoy playing it back then, but I came out of it like, oh, it's rich experience, thought-provoking. Didn't know what was going on. Played it. Kind of interested in the sequels. Never got around. And then a second time in my life, I had to play it, not by my own volition. It pops up for book club, and I'm like, man, this is a slog. Especially after Nox too, which is a great comparison point, by the way. I'm like, oh man. And like I got to do those same 42 FPS walks and form of mist, all that stuff in super slow-mo. But after I did this playthrough, I was like, okay, I can't have played the game twice, known the context, and still like didn't really put all of the story beats together. And I just have to say, I love this game's story so much. It's hard to follow, but it has so many interesting aspects. Everything from literally the story to back back when Demon's Crest was too scary to publish because demons are scary. The idea that you could play this super evil character right out of the get-go, I think they did it in such a tasteful way, going back to the way the game's written and the narrative, the perspective, all of that. Is so enriching compared to modern day cringe evil protagonists.
That's
So I
fair.
really like that aspect. But the gameplay is so not fun for me. And it's interesting because you guys keep talking about the level design and game design. I actually think the level design, the game design is not phenomenal,
I was
but
about to
really
say,
good.
did we do the same
But
dungeons?
Holden, like it's like it was like for me it was like it was the comparison. There was really good parts and then parts that made me like doubt how good I thought the other parts were.
yeah, and for me, I chalk a lot of that up to terrible player controller, the stuff Klon's talking about, hitboxes, how does it feel, the speed, all of that is just terrible. But the actual design intentions, like Okay, so when I said interesting to Donnie being like everything takes 30 hits, how many of you guys were still using the Morning Star or the Mace? Excuse me, because
I
that'll
swapped
do
to
Yeah,
I swapped
that'll
to it at the end because it was really good.
it is very
it's
good.
super good throughout. It's free heals, it nullifies
Yeah,
enemies, but like that's so good.
the free heals are big.
What was a
But like
flamesword mean?
we're conditioned from modern games to be like, oh, the latest armor, the latest weapon, that's what I use because that's good. But this game does such a good job of having previous equipment, items, magic, all that be super versatile late game. So I was really curious if you guys were like hitting these walls where the game felt really frustrating because every time the game felt super frustrating for me, there were a lot of really interesting opportunities to like completely make the game easier or traversal
I
more
didn't
traversable.
I didn't really find a huge difficulty spike. Actually, more what I found is that like this game does the thing that I think when this happens in games, it's like a huge irredeemable sin. It's that combat has no purpose. It only drains resources that you otherwise need, and
Hmm.
so like for half the game, I was just running past the enemies
Yeah,
unless I needed to
there's
fight
like
them.
why
You know,
bother?
Yeah, and the combat's so lackluster that it
right?
borderline feels like you're just playing a slow motion puzzle game.
Yeah, but I think to your point, to go along with I think what you're trying to say is that like there are usually offensive options available to you that will counter your specific problem. The magic is often very good,
Hmm.
very strong, very situationally like totally counters what's going on in front of you. It's limited and hampered by the magic regen being so fucking slow, even with the upgrades and the. I don't know if I was using the magic refill items correctly or whatever, but it would refill my magic for like 10 seconds and then it would all go away. And I was like,
Yeah, it
what?
gives you max mana and then it drains it. So it's
Mhm.
like that's your opportunity to pop
Just
off,
cast
but
all
you
your shit.
can't use it as a consumable that restores mana. So if you're at max mana, you used it and you didn't cast
You
anything, it would
fucked
then
up.
drain to 0.
Yeah. So that was my experience. I just think I disagree with how that works, but I get that was a choice they made.
The game also gives you a lot of like weapon, like items, like consumable weapons,
Yeah.
like a lot, and
Yeah,
they're
when you
pretty
get angry
good.
and you're like, I'm gonna throw worms at everyone for the next 10 minutes.
The
Yeah.
one where it
Nice.
like does a roulette to see how they're gonna die is actually super strong because generally it's just a one hit kill and everything.
Yeah.
That
The
was
Um,
items come in handy quite often, like when you don't have a lot of mana.
one of my one of my few gripes with the game is I didn't care about the magic. Like, oh, this one shoots a green beam that blows them up. This one's a red beam that blows them up. Or this is a red beam that stuns them, or the blue beam that stuns them, and you can suck them. I'm like, I didn't care. Just cast the magic shield and fucking whack them. Like there
oh
Did
was
yeah, the
you
no.
stun is so good on certain enemies.
did you
Like,
get the
Uh,
spell, Danny, that sucks the blood from literally every
everyone.
living being?
Yeah, as
That
soon as
spell
I
is
got that, I walked
amazing.
through the rest of the game. I was the
Yeah.
suck master. I was like, I suck as much as this game does now.
and
Oh
it's
shit.
really cool that they balance that with like, here's some poison enemies. You can't
Tainted
go
blood.
around
Can we
literally
Yeah.
talk about the
sucking
poison
everything.
enemies? That they
You
don't
touch
fucking
poison.
explain that until after you get a spell that sucks everybody's blood, but if you can do it
Yeah.
beforehand, and how do you cure it? Can somebody tell you how you cure it other than saving?
Use an
The
antidote.
This item.
The antidote items they throw at you.
I've checked out.
You have like 80 of them by
Yeah,
the end of the
dude.
game.
So to wrap up my opening thoughts, I don't put it past anyone for this game to be so tedious that they check out. I totally respect that because again, the gameplay moment to moment is pretty rough by today's standards. But
By
Yeah,
I'd say by 96
I was
standards,
about to
like this
say,
has
don't
worse
you?
combat than fucking Legend of Zelda, which came out 10 years before. It's
yeah, but I'd
shit.
still argue there's really good design in this game, like especially coming right out of Nox. My God, I'm
Dude.
about to lower that a whole score, dude.
I'd have played Nox 3 times before I played half of this game again.
That's very fascinating to me because I think this game genuinely has some really good level design, and I don't even like the game for playing it. I really just like the story so
Okay,
much.
defend Avernus Cathedral right now.
But it has some unique puzzles per room, which
Diablo
is
on
points.
ice skates and teleporters. That's what that dungeon has.
I just didn't. I don't even on my first playthrough. I didn't run into this crazy level of friction where I had to check out. But okay, the final thought. Pardon for this be so many tangents, but this game for me is like it was like reading literature in high school. I hated doing it in the moment, but I would come out of it super glad I did, and that's what Legacy of Kain Blood Omen is for me.
Fair enough.
Here.
Here, here.
So, can anyone actually explain the story, like summarize it?
I
'Cause
could, but it'd be
I
kind of lit
just
ass. But that might be our only thread of
like, I
fate
mean,
here.
just a quick, brief summary. Doesn't you don't have to get into detail.
Yeah, so the goddess in the beginning, she's stabbed in that opening cutscene, and Kain is born and is basically takes her spot as this like arbiter of law, that pillar. Uh, he's traveling through the land. He's killed in the beginning of the game, and he's resurrected by the necromancer. I forgot his name.
Mortanus.
Thank you. And without getting too far ahead because it becomes extremely convoluted, Kain has this extreme quest for vengeance, and he is constantly being pulled by some hidden strings behind, mostly being the necromancer and I think it's Mobius, the time
Yeah,
dude.
the
Mobius
time
is the
guy.
time guy, yeah.
I thought that
time
his
guy.
whole subplot was cool with like William the Just or whatever.
Yeah, super cool. But those are the main competing plot points up until Kain is deceived into the I think the part that really muddied things for me is when you do the time traveling part.
Right. Yeah, near the end.
Kain is basically it's really cool that I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but if you recall, Kain is talking about like fate is guiding me, right? There's some really interesting lines like that. These
He said, "When coincidence is too convenient, I prefer to call it fate."
Mhm.
yeah, some really
I thought
good
that was a
lines.
cool line. I thought that was a
Yeah,
pretty
A
cool
lot of
line.
hard lines, dude.
and that's that convenient I forgot what they call it, the time mechanism. Those were specifically placed by Mobius to
Yeah, and then Kain has like a
get Kain.
freak out. He's like, wait a minute, have I been just fucking playing along the whole time?
Yeah, so you when you're back in time in that castle in the northeast, you see Mobius deliver a second Soul Reaver to Mr. Guy you have to kill. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names.
William the
William.
Just.
Thank you. You spar with the Soul Reaver, and normally actions that happen in the past cannot affect the future, but because these two Soul Reavers clashed, the future was able to happen, and that's when uh, uh, that kingdom is destroyed when you come back, and you need
Mhm.
to then kill Mobius, and then you come back, and then the rest of the game takes place. But that's the
Yeah.
lit ass abbreviated summary.
That's a pretty good lit ass abbreviated summary.
A lot of it, like, I had to go back and read about because I don't know if it was just me the way I experienced it on my PC, but a lot of the audio mixing was fucking awful. Like,
No, it's
some of the
horrible.
dialogue you just couldn't hear. Like, it's like they're whispering in a different room. Like, I couldn't. Like, I literally was like, "What did he? What? What did he say?"
Speak up, Sonny.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I just chalked it up to old PC game.
Mm,
But I like Kain as a character. I think they did a good job, like establishing who he is and what he's about. Like you mentioned earlier, he's not a modern cringe, evil main
mm,
character.
Mm.
Like he's actually nuanced, and like he isn't just trying to be edgy or badass or like I'm just evil, blah, kill everyone.
He's definitely a good anti-hero.
Yes, he's like I think they call it in wrestling they call it a tweener because you're in between good and bad, right?
He shops at
Like he
Forever
doesn't really
21.
care. He doesn't care for either side necessarily. He just cares about what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And if you get in the
Beating
way, he'll
ass.
fuck you up. Yeah. He's about eating ass, yeah. But
No, beating ass.
Damn,
oh,
Kain,
sorry.
Cyber Demon Sex Theater featuring Kain.
I really like throughout my playthrough. I liked hearing him talk. There were some lines that were cheesy as fuck, but I didn't really care. It didn't bother me because I just chalked it up to a weird old game, you know. And I don't know. To me, like all the things you guys mentioned about the slog and the bad combat, I agree. I agree with it. But the world was enough. Like just being in the world made me enjoy doing those things. Like I remember walking across a giant ass lake as Mist Guy, just holding forward and walking across blue, just slowly going across, no big deal, nothing happening for like 20 fucking seconds. Like in my mind, I was thinking like, well, what if you're like sitting by the edge of a lake and you saw like a human figure in mist walking? Whoa, wouldn't that be sick?
It is pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. But I do agree about all the other shit you guys said.
And then you got to the other side of that lake, and there was nothing there.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, but sometimes there was.
Yeah, there's that
sometimes.
lake. I forget if it's like the Dollmaker's mansion. Like you go to
Yeah.
the left, and there's like a whole bunch of shit just on like, an
There's
icy
a fuck
island.
Yeah.
ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all those consumable items you didn't use, Danny.
The Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah, they give you a lot of consumables in this game. I was actually surprised how many they gave you, especially if you explore. Because the way I was going through this game was I would exhaust every path I could in the overworld with my current abilities. And once I couldn't find anything else to explore, then I would start looking for the way forward. Unless I stumbled upon it by accident. But I would scour the world. And that's probably why I had. I mean, if you find all the upgrade fountains, I didn't find them all. But
I
if you
think
find a lot of them,
did.
you get pretty buff.
Does
Like
it?
you can tank damage and
The mana regen is super good too. There's like
Yeah.
2 or 3 for those.
There's
I forgot.
three.
It's
I
so
found 3
bad.
strength and 3 mana, and then snow, rain, something else.
yeah.
All right, Danny, did it take you 10 minutes to kill William the Just too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, great. With my huge strength upgrade, that fight took forever.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I cast barrier like 5 times.
Oh, that was a one hit for me if I recall. I don't even remember.
Did you use the Soul Reaver?
Yeah.
Because I did, and
I
so
didn't.
What
I
was
hit
your
him.
Use the
magic
flame
at?
sword.
I killed him, I think, in 3 or 4, maybe
What the
5 hits.
Yeah. It took me. It
I
probably
will
took me like
say,
3 minutes of just hitting him.
my first playthrough, Cathedral boss, no problem. This time it bugged out on me. I probably spent like at least an hour. Just kept getting the death animation, kept teleporting away, and I was like, "Oh, this game's sick, dude."
I think that happened to me too. Not an hour, but
So I was playing this and I dropped my phone on my keyboard while I was playing it. And I don't know what the fuck, arbitrary code execution or something, dude. But the game started to flip its shit. Like I
amazing.
would press one button and it would activate every command in the game simultaneously. And then like the audio started crackling and then the game locked up.
That's crazy, dude.
It's creepypasta territory.
I
Holy.
don't know if it's a coincidence or if like the combination of keys I entered, the game was just like, what the fuck did you just do?
You
Oh,
found another
but,
secret.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. Oh, how about the map? Trying to select where you want to land.
Okay,
Ah,
so
dude.
I figured it
F6, dude.
out. Up and down goes to no, excuse me. Left and right goes to landmarks, and up and down goes to bat signals.
Yeah, I didn't
What?
even realize
Yep.
that. I don't think my first
Oh,
playthrough.
It's fucking
God.
stupid because I sat there. I was like, I'm figuring this out. This makes no sense because it would literally jump around. I'm like, there's got to be something. And then I was like, wait a minute, and it's still stupid. And guess what? This game needs fucking tooltips. Like who thought that
There's
no
little
tooltips?
triangles on the ground.
No, like in this map, there should be a D-pad that says locations and
there
bat
should.
signal. And
Yeah.
in the
It
menu,
just literally says bat signal.
it should say bat signal. In menu, it should say like damage or this is what this armor does. But no, just fucking figure it out, dummy.
I honestly think a lot of that stuff was an intentional design choice and not just them being incompetent.
But
But a lot of
what
it
did
was
the Wraith
No
armor do?
standards.
Can somebody actually tell me? I really do want to know.
Wait, which one?
The Wraith armor.
Makes
the black
undead
one.
makes undead not hit you.
No,
right?
that's the bone
Yeah.
armor.
Oh. Yeah, I did
Wraith
find the
armor is
Wraith
the one
armor.
where you phase.
Yeah, where you're like a ghost.
Well, that
Yeah.
one divides up your damage in between HP and MP.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, why would you equip that? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I don't use.
I
didn't
figured
use
it had
much.
something to do with mana because you get it when you get the Soul Reaver.
I like the chaos armor or the flesh armor.
Yeah, the
So I
flesh armor's
used
cool.
it.
It looks like a weird bodysuit.
Yeah, most of the armor look cool,
Yeah.
at least.
Okay, I have to talk since Super said his technical difficulty. This is 100% a skill issue, and I literally do not hold this against the game other than the Avernus Cathedral being a stupid teleporter slog. But I was doing that dungeon, and you know how save points are at the beginning and before boss fights in dungeons?
Mm.
Yes.
So I got the Soul Reaver and the Wraith armor and went through all of that tremendous teleporter bullshit. And I decided to try using a controller again. And it was working for that whole dungeon. And right at the end, my controller stopped working as I was doing a directional input. And I could
Oh,
not
no.
get it to undo the directional input. So I had to close the game.
Oh.
So I had to do that entire fucking dungeon again. And when I did it, do you remember when you get the Soul Reaver, how it's like that sequence of teleporters that you go and you get to the Soul
Yes.
Reaver? I made the mistake of when I got back into the room, I forgot what room I was in and I walked left onto the teleporter that puts you back into it and you can't go backwards. So I had to just redo it because of the controller. And then I walked back into it and couldn't go back out and had to redo it again. I was about to fucking throw my
Whew.
computer through the window. And I was like, this isn't against the game, but I'm getting pissed off.
That's
it's
rough,
literally
man.
impossible to enjoy a game after something like that.
Well, I already wasn't
Yeah.
enjoying the game, and then that happened. And I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
It looks like you're having a similar experience on screen here at the moment.
Dude, the wolf just randomly wouldn't jump.
It's very spacing
The
dependent.
check for that
It's
is
so
bad.
weird, dude.
Yeah, that's another strike, definitely. Yeah.
Positive strike, if I may. Symphony of the Night spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This game has Form of Mist a year before Symphony of the Nights.
Yeah.
That's-
And
that-
kind of
that's a
werewolf. Like, he turns into
Yeah,
a dog.
I think there's some really creative Metroidvania elements in this game. So
I'm
give credits.
interested. What did Silicon Knights do before this game? Like, were they like seasoned veterans at this point?
That's a good question. I can take a look.
I think this was their
Because-
first game.
Yeah, they worked together with Crystal
that would
Dynamics.
explain a lot of stuff. I feel like this game had a lot of really ambitious ideas, and it had a clear direction that they wanted to take it, but like the shortcomings in execution really. Like, I feel like this is one of those games where if you tweak a few things just a little bit, it would have been like a truly great game, like a
agree.
classic. Like all these cutscenes are so fucking
No,
sick.
so-
I love the
Mhm.
flying cutscenes.
So
they're
Silicon
cool.
Knight actually started with Cyber Empires on the Amiga, the Atari
Whoa.
ST, and DOS.
Oh shit.
Holy shit!
And then
I'm
two-
putting that on the list.
Two more, oh god, and then two more DOS games: Fantasy Empires and Dark Legions. And this is
Interesting.
shocking. I've never even heard of this game. It was on the Sega Saturn. That probably has a lot to do with it. Called The Horde, and it was also 1996.
Huh? I have to look
Huh.
into that.
It looks really fucking stupid just from this what the hell from this title or box art I'm looking at, but funnily enough, Blood Omen was their last PC game, and then they moved on to Eternal Darkness, and then Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
That's
Easy.
interesting. That's very interesting. But I could definitely see a lot of Blood Omen in Eternal Darkness.
Yes,
Like it shares
it does.
DNA big time. The pacing, the cryptid nature. But anyways, we're not talking about that game.
Yeah, we're talking about the Horde for Sega Saturn.
Yeah, somebody put that on there. Oh, this is- I wish I didn't hate this game as much as I did, but it was just everything. It was just literally everything. Like,
I mean, that's like your experience, right? That's the way
Yeah,
the
it's part of the
game
club.
presented itself
Like-
to you. Like that's just the way it is.
cause yeah, like the FMVs were cool, like, but that's not kind of the game. Like the voice acting I was 50-50 on. I thought Kain for the most part was good. But then when everybody else was talking and it was like in a super
Yeah.
exaggerated voice, I was like, dude, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't hitting for me. But I was probably
the-
just
All
already
the other
pissed.
characters were pretty shitty, but I thought Kane sounded good, but everyone else was kind of on par with the day's
I think
video game voice acting quality.
Vorador was pretty good too. Like, he was definitely a number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else being so hammy just made me laugh. Like I enjoyed it for how bad
So
it was.
did I. So did
Kind
I.
stranger.
Yeah.
Please, kind sir. And then you suck their blood. And they die.
The blood suck noise. How have we not talked
It's
about that?
fantastic. It's probably the best part of the game. Especially when
How
you
many
hit like
other
a big
vampires
one.
Can... Oh, you get a whole room full of people.
Yep.
Yeah. But how many other vampires can do that? Like, don't they have to bite you? Like, what is this shit that Kane does? Like,
Right.
Beats
they
him over
never
the
talk
head.
about that, right?
You do see. Oh god, I wish I remembered his
Vorador.
name.
He
The
does
other
it at the
vampire.
beginning, and it looks like he's
Yeah,
sucking up
thank you.
spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like blood magic that they use instead of like that, like more like classic kind of like hemophage. They're more like hemomancers. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That is
So-
cool.
Darf. Actually, you saying that reminded me. I'm curious what you guys thought, but I thought Donnie would hate this game. I thought Darf was 50-50, that he might really love the storytelling elements, but sure enough, he did hate it. Cornhole, I was figuring it'd just be like tactics, where he's like, dang dude, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And then Colin, I was like, I think he could maybe pick something up from this. And then Super, I was like, I think Super's the one who's gonna enjoy it. It was pretty
Right, so
spot
you were
on
like
this
dead
one.
on,
Nailed
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah.
Nice. I like to hear that. That's pretty
And,
cool.
and you're right, like that the story and the world building that is shown through the kind of like morally gray eyes of our like protagonist was like immediately I was probably more gripped by this game than most of the other games we played. It's just like the actual gameplay elements that ended up kind of fucking me by the end.
I think the problem with this game's story, even though I like it on the whole, is that the pacing is shit. And it suffers from way too many pronouns that you're not given a chance to really learn.
Yeah.
Like I got to the end of the game and they're talking about like, oh, this is like they brought Nupraptor up again, and I was like, who the fuck is Nupraptor again? Who that guy? You know, I had just like
Nutraptor.
I had like totally forgotten that he was the first Mega Man boss we fought. You know. So like, but if it was paced more intentionally and you had more exposure to, I don't know, more regular exposure to the plan and what was going on, I think could have been a better
Agreed.
fit for me.
Absolutely. So like the bits that they decided to focus on in the story were like more superficial. Like the actual like meat of what was happening was kind of thrown to the side in favor of Kane talking fancy.
Yeah.
He did
And-
talk
and-
I was there for that.
Maybe you could say that like, okay, they did that on purpose because Kain himself is in the dark until like the end of the game.
Yeah, I
But-
could see that.
I still don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really I understood basically what was happening, but
Yeah, like what I'm doing, but
there were a lot of times where like they were talking and I was like, I have no fucking clue what they're talking about at all. But I
thought-
just enjoyed the way it felt, like the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
I like the kind of beef they set up. Like Malik is like the kind of, I guess, your foil. Like, oh god, how do I defeat this guy? And then it's just like, you can't, you suck. You get somebody else who does. And I was like, what?
is that why you have to get the Soul Reaver?
No, you get
The ring.
you get the ring and you summon Vorador to fight Malik while you fight
Oh,
Bane
yeah.
and fucking Wizard Lady.
It's so jarring because like that stuff will happen, and then you just spawn into this dude making water tiles all over the ground,
Yeah.
while the other person's like in a corner, and you're like, oh,
I
whoa,
thought I was
whoa.
playing Bomberman or some shit, dude.
Can I just?
That fight was weird, dude. Like when I got to that fight, I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" And I, by accident, figured out what to do. Like you have to like walk up to the caster, and like he just like disappears, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Wait, you don't have to sling energy bolts at her?
Oh, I mashed.
I think I
I
threw
don't
one
know,
worm
my
and she
game bugged out, dude.
exploded.
But I walked. You know, there's all those orbs floating.
Yeah.
It's like, I just walked through them. And it was, and then Kain was like, "This is her robe, and I must put it on the rock."
So it did bug. Okay.
Oh, I just thought that's how it was supposed to go.
Yeah, it's like, well, this tracks with the.
There are moments in the game that are like that, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep going forward.
Judging by how the rest of the game had played out up to that point, I was like, "Oh, okay, that must just be what you're supposed to do." All right, cool.
Chris, what
Good
were you
fight,
gonna
good
say?
fight.
I just want to say, like, watching this, what's on screen right now for the past 2 minutes is so aggravating just to even watch. Like the projectiles in this game,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
get
bad.
I cannot stand that
like you
fucking
just
shit.
literally get bounced back and forth, and there's an arrow, and then there's a spike trap, and you just you're a
And there's
pinball.
nothing you can fucking do with
Yeah.
like with the projectiles unless you have like the Aegis spell. It sucks.
Yeah, I agree. It's like really that's my only strategy that I can use. I don't know. I was kind of.
Well, I agree with you, but to just be devil's avocado, the projectile items you get fuck these dudes up.
Yes,
Yeah, but, like,
badly.
Oh,
You-
the stun here, they're free. It's
the little
cool.
ninja blades. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and you could just stun them too.
It's a bigger problem, I think, just in general with the combat. Like, there's no way to defend yourself. You like you're in close quarters, and like you have to like space to create space. There's
Yeah.
like you don't push enemies back. It's just
And
it's
God forbid
fucking
your
awful.
sword hits like the tip hits a wall, and suddenly all of its
Yeah.
damage is invalidated. You're like, what?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I just want to talk about the ice physics because I had the
I
most fun I had in this
enjoyed-
game was on the ice.
Yep,
Yeah, they
doing
were
the
good.
platforming on the ice, sliding around tracks.
Like I love that. Like you were basically in complete control of your movements. Anytime you're doing anything on the ice, it was fucking awesome. Like you can like start swinging your sword, and then you could like move in and out of like an attack. And man, I was
whole
like, I
game
wish
should've
the
been
whole
on
game was
ice.
like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It should have been on ice. It would have been faster. One thing that happened to me, similar to like what you guys were saying with the projectiles, I was on this like ice path, and there was this like arrow fucking or like axe swinging thing in the wall, and like a set of spikes, and I got hit by it, and then I got like bounced into the spikes on the ice, and then back into the thing, and I took my whole HP bar
Hell
from
yeah.
full to
Yeah.
nothing. It was
That
like
would happen.
The
heart.
dark.
of
Yeah,
darkness.
I mean, it's so dang.
Crashing
Wow.
out.
I still love the ice though.
The heart. Darkness.
This game is very
Yeah.
quotable. I'll give it that.
It is. I just want to say too, like I think like specifically when you start getting later and there's less human bleedable, suckable enemies, and you start taking more damage and you die and then you get revived. I felt like there was no more tension in what I was doing because I was like, well, I have like 35 hearts of darkness, and I just like, it's not like sometimes when I'm playing these old games where I'm like literally sweating because I'm like, okay, don't fuck it up now. It's like that didn't exist, you know what I mean? And especially whenever the enemies don't really need to be killed and the combat is slow, it just all built to a head of me just running past everything, and not
exactly.
being engaged in the combat. So
I ran past pretty much most of the enemies, like unless I had to fight them. But
Yeah,
I,
that's-
I was like, I'm Kain. I don't have time for you fools.
You
That's what
peasants.
I thought. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
it's too bad. I understand why they didn't want you to be like healing off of all the different types of enemies, but I think that if there would have been more enemies that you could actually heal off of, I might have been more inclined to not just run past all of them.
As soon as all the enemies turned into the dude from the box art from Mace the Dark Age, I just fucking ran past everything. Like,
Yeah.
because
Nemesis guys.
they hit
True.
really hard.
That's so true. Like, even if they did
they took
let you
a
heal,
lot of
like,
health. I was like, fuck this. And then
Are those the Red Knight guys?
yeah.
The mace 2 stuns them, right? Like 2 hit stuns them.
Yeah.
Dude, the
Yeah,
mace
the mace
was
is so good.
Well, the mace was trash early on, or like mid game, so I flushed it. And I was like, oh man, the axes are sick. And then they sucked, and they lock you into that spin, and then you just get fucked by enemies. So I was like, oh my god.
So the thing with
the axes are terrible.
The thing with the mace is that you have to commit to the second hit, and the second hit is the thing that stuns. If you just hit him with like singles, it doesn't work.
dude.
It does. I want to chime in. I actually this playthrough found a lot of uses for the double axes. There were times where it's like, oh man, these enemies are free if you just set up your whirlwind a little earlier. Yeah.
There's a few of them where it really works well, but they're so slow.
I just don't like that it makes you commit to the spin.
Yeah.
Like, it should be a move that you can do if you choose to do it. It just makes the weapon feel, I don't know, like it's forcing you to do shit. Yeah, the tree.
And then they like exploded when you hit them too.
Yeah,
It's cool.
The sound they make, pretty interesting. But the mace, like Holden was saying, like there are a lot of enemies where if you're swinging at them with like the fire sword or anything else, really besides the Soul Reaver, like the mace takes care of them pretty quickly if you can like space it so your second hit lands before they can retaliate. But there were like a lot of the projectile enemies, not the slow floating projectiles that track you, but the ones that go in a straight line and are really fast. Some of those guys were pretty infuriating because they knock you back so fucking far, and you keep walking up to them to hit them, but like it's now I understand why everyone hates God.
That makes sense.
You take a few steps forward and they hit you and you go flying 5 steps back, and it's like, what am I supposed to do?
So the reason I actually flushed the mace even harder is those weird like jester dudes that summon the skeletons or golems literally do not get hurt by the mace. And I was like, dude, I'm not fucking around with these menus. I'm just keeping the sword equipped.
I think you're right. They don't get hit by it or hurt by it.
I think that's like could go 2 ways though, because that speaks to like the depth of the weapon design, right? Like each weapon serves a purpose. Some weapons are absolutely useless in certain situations, and some they help you immensely. Like the fire sword's good because it does a lot of damage. It has decent range, but you can't heal.
No blood.
They burn.
I love that trade-off.
And then the Soul Reaver kills pretty much everything except for bosses in 1 hit. But it takes, the stronger the enemy is, the more mana it takes. So those huge red dudes that don't have weapons that just bat at you and do like a quarter of your health.
Oh yeah, Diablo.
Yeah, they take 4 mana runes.
Oh god.
Holy
the
shit.
Soul Reaver. Yeah, you kill it in 1 hit and it takes 4 mana runes. But the weaker enemies, they take like maybe a little sliver of mana. So you like, there's a lot of weaker enemies that you can just chop through like a fucking herd, like you're playing Dynasty Warriors. If you have the Soul Reaver equipped, I kind of wish they gave it to you earlier in the game. That's one of my gripes with a lot of games where they wait too long to make you fully powered. Because I feel like having that choice in combat earlier on would have made a lot of the earlier situations less frustrating. Because there's times where it's like, I just want to get through this hallway, bust out the Soul Reaver, kill everyone, moving on. But a lot of times you didn't have that choice because they wait so long to give it to you, which I guess is a plot thing. But and that's another thing. I feel like this game, they were more about the story than the gameplay, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I think that like from the get-go, that was their intention. Like, we're trying to tell a story here, and like, I don't know, maybe they had like an old school mindset, like, you know, like guys who played tabletop games and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to talk bad about tabletop games, but like, they literally don't have gameplay. It's all in your mind, right? I don't know, I figured maybe like gameplay's not that important. We're trying to tell a story. But when the gameplay is so bad that it starts to, like, it's one thing when it doesn't engage you, but when it starts to actively get in your way, and make things bad, that's when it's like, okay, guys, maybe do focus a little more on gameplay.
Maybe touch it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. Like a lot of the things you guys are talking about, like morphing between forms, like it was slow. Like that, I never even like thought for one time during my set playthrough, like hurry up. Like it just never occurred to me to be like impatient.
You know what?
But-
Oh, pardon, sorry.
But the thing is, like other games that do similar things, I will get pissed and I will be impatient. I think for me, like a game's like feel and story and world, like it might be the most important thing to me in a game. Because like Hades, for example, like that game gameplay wise is like a fucking masterpiece, right? Like it's amazing. But I can't stand the world and the characters, so I didn't play it. But I understand that it's a like fantastically designed game that plays very well and has a lot of depth and all that good stuff. And then you have this game where the world I love, but the rest of it is fucking dog shit.
I feel that.
And overall, I'm like, yeah, give me more. I liked it. I want to check out the sequel too.
I think weirdly enough, I think I would check out the games that come after it. But so help me God, if it feels anything like this, I am not putting myself through it.
The later games do expand. I mean, maybe obvious to say, but the later games do expand on the lore of this game, like we were talking about.
Yeah, the second one you also play as Kain, and then the rest of them you think you play as Raziel or whatever his name is.
Yeah. So Legacy, or sorry, Blood. What the fuck is it? Soul Reaver.
Soul Reavers.
Those came out. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 came out before Legacy of fucking Blood Omen 2.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but they kind of elaborate on like what, like Malik is part of that, like a faction of like angels or fucking whatever that were warring with the vampires, or what, like they kind of get into all that.
Yeah, they do. The seraphim or the whatever.
Well, I forget the name was, but
well, there's the
I think
circle, there's the seraphim, there's
it's them. So if you found the setting of this interesting, I think you would continue to find it interesting.
Yeah, I'll definitely check out the sequels at some point. I'll put them on the wheel.
I found the whole setting of this game to be really uniquely interesting to me because to be fair, I didn't personally experience the entire game, so I could be wrong. But the actual, like, the locations, I guess, are sometimes interesting, but the world itself is actually quite mundane, from what I saw. There's exceptions, and that's good, but to me, what was really interesting was looking at this semi-mundane, like dark gothic world through the perspective of like a bitter, morally ambiguous main character. And to me, that was like probably the most unique thing about the game. And that's pretty much what kept me going as far as I did. Yeah, I just thought that was cool. I thought that actually felt really unique to me. Immediately struck me and kept me going for a while.
It is a very unique thing. Like even in a lot of modern games, you don't find characters like this. Like one thing that I really liked is in a lot of the dialogue, he would compare how he would have felt about certain situations as
I
a
love
human.
that.
Exactly.
But then
right?
he's like, "But now I feel this." Like I thought that was really cool.
I agree
I
completely.
used to hate the stench of death here.
Yeah. It's like, now all I feel is the need to feed monster energy. No.
Jonathan, I am curious, what was the last thing that you did?
I beat the dungeon with the mind control puzzle out of spite, and then I couldn't pick all of the same session. I flew there, backtracked through that god awful swamp, got what I needed, went back, beat it, and then I literally could not bring myself to go further. That was it
That's
for
fair.
me.
Is that like
That's
halfway?
That's
I don't
probably
know.
60%.
I don't know, dude. I only had like one pillar. I was like, and that's the worst part too. Is like I think I remember I don't remember how many pillars there was, but I beat that and I was like, dude,
Pillars don't matter,
Yeah.
which is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
They're not a
That's-
good measure for how
that's
you are.
unfortunate because I felt like I had made almost no progress despite my whingings and
I think
Pain.
there's only one time where you activate one pillar when you visit.
Yeah, and
the
then
rest
Shut
of time
the
you do
front
three-
door.
Yeah, and then you
do
activate them in like
three
threes.
at a time and
Yeah.
2 at a time. Yeah.
And then there's
Oh,
the last
man.
one, and the last one is because it's the last fucking dude waiting there at the pillars of Nazgul.
Well, that's too bad because I feel like that actually, it's kind of weird in meta, I guess. And I don't want to put that against the game, but I was like, man, I'm not making a lot of progress. Like, shit, this sucks.
No, I had the same exact thought too when I saw how many pillars there were and how long it took to do one. But then, later you start to do a bunch at the same time.
It
Yeah.
may not be conventional good game design, like the unspoken language of game devs, like setting consistencies with that stuff. But for me, it subverted my expectations first playthrough. It's kind of like fun to play with those pacing rules.
Agree, dude. I totally agree, and I think that I don't want to put that against the game because I think that's actually interesting. Unfortunately, it just impacted me exactly the wrong way.
A combination of other aspects. Yeah.
I'd like to touch on something. So,
Oh,
Darth,
hold it. Do you mind if I pause you there? Chris, what was your
please.
thought?
Oh, I was just gonna say I got about as far as Darth, and I had the exact same thoughts. I felt like I was
Not making
not
it.
near the end. Yeah, not near the end. And I was just like, that was when I flushed it. The exact same thing.
Thank you, Chris. I feel seen.
Okay, sorry, hold.
I feel like not
Oh,
a bit.
you're good. So, personally, when I play games and there are options, good or evil, Mass Effect, or you can go Paragon Renegade. It's like there's kind of like two things. You either lean full into good or evil, or you place your own morals in a game. I kind of like to do that for my first playthrough to like test the writing of a game. And this, I think, is the only game for me where the evil ending is like the righteous good one that I resonate with. I don't like, again, the edgy protagonists or bad evil endings in games. But through Kain's experience, I really appreciate that, and I really prefer that ending. So I'm curious which one you guys picked to finish.
I did the good ending first, and then the bad ending second.
Same.
And, I don't know. I thought both of them were kind of whatever because like neither of them really made a whole lot of sense to me. Like after everything Kain went through, he's like, "All right, fine, I forgive you all."
I'm
Here's the
still a
world."
human.
Yeah, but then at the bad ending, he's like, "You know what? Fuck y'all." And he's just sitting there drinking blood out of a goblet. It's like I realized that no, I am a god. Fuck you. Like I don't know. I would have liked more of him talking about now what he plans to do. Like, is he going to go back into an eternal slumber?
Well, that's what the sequels are for.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have touched on it, right? Instead of just being like, he restored the world, he killed everyone. Like, a little bit more in the ending would have been nice, especially considering that the sequel to this game didn't come out for a long time because they did 2 others before.
For sure.
I think it's cool that there was different endings, and I think that really fits in with kind of what I was talking about how the game portrays Kain as like a morally ambiguous protagonist, and I think it's pretty badass they had like different endings because sort of like Super was talking about how how it might be seen as like similar or to appeal to role-playing game, tabletop role players, how you might play the game with kind of like your own headcanon besides like what Kain is saying as he rolls through the areas. You're thinking about how your character is actually like responding internally to what they're seeing, and then you get to actually make that decision, that final decision at the end to properly wrap up like how you perceived the game on top of your character's perception. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. I agree with
Even
that.
though it sounds like maybe they weren't super substantial. I only watched the evil one because I watched that Holden clip after I flushed it.
Is that where he was a princess?
I
Yeah.
got Princess twice, dude.
Yeah. Princess
Yeah,
is
so
the best.
To all those who finished it, what was your prestige?
I was a gimp.
Princess.
Damn.
I got Bride.
What the fuck? Why is there so many mean ones?
I mean, the best one is called Devourer of Worlds.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
Dang.
Yeah. So the way it works, I looked this up after I finished it. They calculate the number of slayings. So if you go to your status screen, there's slayings, feedings, mutilations, and secrets, right? And I don't know what mutilations are, but feeding, I guess, is when you suck people's blood, and slayings is just when you kill people. The way it works is slayings count as like a small amount of points, and secrets like multiply those.
Oh, no way.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like you can just like farm kills and get Devourer of Worlds. Like
It's a
it's
really
meaningless.
silly scoring system. I thought it had to do with
Yeah.
like time or something else.
No, yeah, but the more like secrets is really the way to do it. Like if you're interested, I was, dude, like it's even more funny now after we've had this discussion. But on the Reddit subreddit for this game, man. So I looked up after my first session with this game. I went on the internet and I went to Google and I typed Blood Omen Legacy of Kain mod to make him stop talking.
Oh man.
There's a mod where he doesn't say Ve Victus so much that it cuts off the voice line and starts repeating it before it fucking finishes.
Victus.
And
Yeah,
there
that's
is a
too
mod
much.
that does that, but the thing is, on the Reddit thread for that mod, people are like, "Why would you do that? That's stupid. It's iconic. It's iconic." Someone said, and I was just like, what are you? What?"
Fuck, it was iconic like the second time.
And people were legit like angry at this person who was talking about this mod. It was like it's a part of the game. Like that's what makes it's part of what makes it so memorable and good. Like, really, is that really what you think?
It's funny that like you looked up that. I was like my third session through, and I was thinking, dude, I thought people really loved this game. Like, is that wrong? And then
You know what I think it is?
Oh, go ahead.
It's like the Crusader of Senti thing, where people on PC were like, "Yeah, we finally got Zelda.
Oh, yeah.
It's for adults."
Oh my god, that's
Dude,
funny.
I take offense by that because I hated that game.
Well,
But I
when I
kinda
looked at the
agree. I know
reviews
what you mean.
and everybody's like, oh yeah, the storytelling and the thing, and people are like, yeah, maybe it didn't age the best or lackluster gameplay. I'm like, motherfuckers, were we playing the same game? Lackluster doesn't even start. Like, but then every once in a while there would be a glimmer of hope, and somebody gave it a 3 out of 10, and they're like, this game is whack. I see what they were going for, but God, I could barely play it. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, it was just like,
I think most of the people who give this game glowing praise, most of them, not all of them, played it when they were kids, and they have fond
Yeah,
memories of
sure.
playing it as a child. Because
Green of time moment.
there's a lot of stuff in this
God,
game that's
I don't-
not excusable. Like, sure, you can say you have to at least acknowledge its shortcomings. Like, but you can say you still enjoyed it, but as long as you acknowledge the shortcomings, then you look reasonable, right? But yeah, like a lot of these people, like Danny was saying, they were like, "No, this game's an all-time classic. It's perfect. Fuck
yeah.
you."
They're just like, oh,
what?
these there's some minor issues. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
No.
it was pretty mind-blowing to me.
No.
But I will say, after hearing Ve Victus a million fucking times throughout the whole game, the final cutscene where he's
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
dude.
fucking fight the final boss, and he's like, Ve Victus, I was like, fuck yeah, motherfucker. Ve
And then the whole
Victus.
movie theater clap.
Oh, that's actually badass. I love that.
Yeah, in the cutscene, he screams it right before he fights the last boss.
That's cool.
And I
that's cool.
popped off, dude. I popped off. I won't lie. I was like, fuck yeah. Ve Victus, bitch.
Oh, that reminds me of coffee guy in the credits too.
I
Oh, at the very end of the credits?
Yeah.
That scared me. I had my
Yeah,
volume
there's
up
a-
really loud because I was like watching a stream and I had it all tabbed because the credits was just playing the music and somebody just started yelling. I was like, ah!
Yeah, in the special thanks, there's like a special thanks to the coffee guy, and it yells "Coffee guy!" And yeah, it's like, holy, is there a virus on my computer? What just happened?
Now, as soon as I saw the credits start to scroll, I pressed Alt F4, and I was like, okay, moving on with life.
That's fair.
I'm glad. Like, I was so curious what everyone was going to think about this game. I knew there were going to be some people who hated it, and I didn't think there'd be people that liked it as much as I do, which I guess I was correct about. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Holden. Would you say you liked it as much as me? I don't call it.
It's that weird thing where I really appreciate it, and I identify a lot of strong design flawed by some poor design decisions. Where it's
Yeah.
like, I really like this game, but actively playing it, I do not. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
contradiction.
I would just like to point out, just as a cherry on top, this is the first time in gameplay footage, like when I was recording it, this gameplay footage, I rage quit the gameplay footage right here. So
Damn.
like you can see that it is abruptly going to end in like 10 seconds because
The diagonal dagger through the rock.
yep. And it did that, and I hadn't saved in a while, and I just fucking boom, like I was done because I couldn't get
Oh, that
OBS to
gameplay.
capture it. I couldn't get my controller to work, and I finally got it all set up, and I was just like, okay, and then I had to play the game, and I was already in a bad mood, and then that cheap shit happened, and I just fucking lost it. I Alt F4'd, I closed OBS. It's like, fuck.
Dude, what I'm thinking, I'm actually really glad that I didn't push myself to
Oh god.
finish this
You-
game.
you
I'm really glad
shouldn't
I
have.
didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't because I think it's actually gonna make my score a lot higher than it would have been, which is good, right? Because I feel like I don't want to like. I'm just like thinking this, processing this out loud. I feel like, you know, through the in the realm of book club, it's the idea is that you try to finish the game. You don't have to, but whenever you play a video game, you don't feel forced to finish it. And I feel like forcing yourself to finish a game can actually totally like impact your experience playing it. And I don't think that a video game needs to be finished for you to have gotten enjoyment out of it. And
I agree with that.
and I think, yeah, so I would say that I didn't even hate the game. I just hated the playing of it at to a certain point, you know.
Yeah.
I think you should try at some point to go back and finish it because, as much as I agree with the individual points Danny's making about how annoying it is to play and how dumb some things are, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Enough
But
to
you're
make me
getting
flush
18
it.
more frames a second than us, dude.
Were you playing on the PlayStation one?
No, I played PC. I wish I
Oh,
had
never
played
mind.
PlayStation.
Yeah, Holden poisoned
Me
all
too.
of our minds.
Yeah,
I
that
saw,
was
like,
my
video.
misinformation. Dude, I'll fall on that sword. I don't care. I'll do it to you guys again.
I bet you
That's
will.
really- I don't know. I did some independent research on that as well, and I also saw that people were saying play the PC version. So,
I don't
wouldn't
see-
say it's all on Holden.
I don't see why. Like, I guess there's like load times and they can be kind of bad on the.
I heard that. I guess when you pause or something, I forget. I read that there's some really bad load times on the PlayStation version.
Yeah.
I was just thinking
Maybe.
too. This is kind of off that topic, but the ability wheels and stuff. I don't know so much about games that came out around that time, but was that kind of like a little bit innovative at the time? Would you say?
What was it?
Like the
Like
radio.
selecting the spells, the way you select
Like,
spells.
yeah, the way that you kind of have access to like
You're up,
different
down, left,
transformations,
right.
different items, and different spells all
Oh.
at the same time, like through the use of a wheel.
I
I felt like that seemed pretty involved and like cool to me for a game that came out at that time. I don't know. I was like, wow.
I thought that was such good design, but then the critically bad design match with that is to change those or interact with it.
Yeah.
You need to press the menu, then select which subcategory and press down.
Yeah,
And then go.
yeah.
The amount of
Yeah.
inputs in the normal menu is atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
agree
you're talking
completely.
about is really cool for its time.
Yeah, so you're talking like the hotkeys, right? You press like L1.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
select all your, yeah.
Like having quick access to that many different options at once to me seemed
Mhm.
really cool. Like I don't think I've played a game from this time that gives you basically so many things that you can do at any given time.
That was also
So quickly.
one of my gripes is that it did give you so many options, but so many of them were just like a
Yeah.
different flavor of the same ice cream.
Totally. I think probably the more I would have played the game, the more I would have felt that way about it. But initially, I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I still found it cumbersome, honestly, and I would always like.
Interesting.
I don't know, having 3 different menus, I found it a little cumbersome.
I didn't find it.
It
That
wasn't cumbersome for me. I just got really fast at the menuing.
Yeah, same here. At a certain point, I was able to just menu through things really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck
swapping to
you
a
couldn't
different
do it with.
weapon was pretty fast.
Like I don't know why you couldn't do it for weapons though. The wheel. I don't know why they didn't have one for weapons. Like that
Yeah,
seems like
buttons.
really stupid. It was on a fucking keyboard.
True, it was.
Like
That's true.
fucking why not? Anyways.
Because it was designed for PS1. I think it's the Windows version.
Oh,
support.
was it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense then. I guess.
PC came out like, what did he say, Danny? Like a year later?
Yeah, a year later. It was like 9 months later.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to try out the PlayStation version now to see what it's like.
Good old Duck Station.
Feels like you're going in like it's like you're playing on an emulator in turbo mode. You know? Not that fast, but it is much faster.
I know we're all familiar with the Iron Boots moment of Ocarina of Time. I just want to point out that in Ocarina of Time, you pause and then you press A if it's already selected. Does it have a memory? I don't
No,
remember.
I think you do have to hit Z.
You do have to press down,
Yeah.
Z and then down. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad.
It's pretty
Ocarina of
bad.
Time. But
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's
in-
pretty bad.
But I still love that game, Donnie. Don't
Jeez.
worry. It's one of my favorites of all time. But in this game, I don't know if you guys ran into this. I think it's so cool that if you're using a two-hander or dual wielding, you can't use something. But I ran
I
into
did like
this
That's
thing.
not cool. It fucking sucks.
I liked that. I liked it. I thought it was good balancing.
Yeah.
I do too, but compounding with the menu issue, for me was like, there were times where, and then this might be because of my play style and that, but okay, I can't use my hands. Switch to fire sword really quickly. Okay, I'm gonna pass my juicer magic, and then I'm gonna pop a shield. Now I'm gonna switch to Soul Reaver. So I menued twice now, and then you have to go into the sub menus. Okay, now I got the Soul Reaver. I'm gonna slice the lady who doesn't die because the game's bugged. That's kind of beyond the scope of this now. And then it's like 3 menus now.
Yeah.
I've done this. But I love the balancing part of it. It's just the amount of menu inputs made that miserable for me.
Yeah, they definitely could have executed it better, but the ideas for balancing, I think, were good for the time.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I think like at least in my experience, it speaks to the cumbersomeness of the menu. That there were times where I knew I could be using a better weapon or spell or item, and I just didn't do
I don't
it
wanna
because
go to
I
the fucking menu.
couldn't be bothered. Yeah, couldn't be bothered.
I understand totally. Like, and that is on the game too, for the way they designed that shit.
The wheel is cool, and I feel like it worked really good, and it would feel like especially cool when I was like running around and I like had it like in my muscle memory to be like boom, wolf form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Like a
yeah.
frame 1 wolf input.
Yeah, that's right. Speed running this shit. Let's go.
How many? So did anyone ever use that spell to warp back to the mausoleum?
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
What did it do?
It just takes. It literally does that. Takes you back to the mausoleum, which is also
It's a
kind of
good way to get out of a
questionable,
dungeon.
because like you'd think like, oh, it's gonna take me back somewhere I can heal or get my magic back.
That's what I thought. That it
No,
would heal you.
no, because
But they're
the chained up
It
person
should've.
in there stays a ghost, so you have to go outside and kill the gravekeeper. A whole bunch
Always
of
Or the-
magic
the
to
bandits.
pillars,
Those
and then-
bandits.
Yeah.
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 I think,
like-
I don't know. I feel like they maybe meant it to do that, but like fucked up because when they described the spell,
Yeah.
like Kain said, like I could take refuge
Yeah.
in my
My
mausoleum. That's what he says.
His sanctuary.
Yeah, I actually
That
tried like
heavily
going back in
implies-
his casket. I tried going back to the casket to see if I
So
could
did
heal
I.
there. Yeah, it didn't
So
work.
did I.
I was pretty disappointed actually.
I was very confused because I was certain that it was to heal.
It would have been It would have been super cool if you go back there and then you can like fully heal because fully healing is
Yeah.
really annoying. And then like it's nighttime now and you like arise and it would be sick. But no, they didn't do
Oh,
it.
this reminds me of a critical blunder that I'm curious if you guys ran into. So,
Yes, I
both
did play the
playthroughs- Ba-doomts. Both times I played the game, I got stuck in the same spot, which is when you need to go to the cathedral, both times I thought, oh yeah, I'll go back to the mausoleum. I'll go Form of Mist. I'll walk through the cemetery fence, because you can do that with those, with the Form of Mist. And then I'll walk down the river, because you can see it almost connects on the map. And then it turns out, no, you gotta go north to the lava cavern that connects. I'm like, oh man.
I did not do that.
I did not do that.
So
Me
that's
either.
definitely a hold and burn problem. Got it.
Because I don't think I
get
put
stuck
together
at
that
really
you could
dumb spots.
walk through that fence.
Yeah, mist form became I don't want to deal with these arrows or this water hurts really bad.
Yeah, I can just phase through these projectiles. Sweet.
You guys notice that there's some doors that only open during full moon?
Yes.
Mhm.
I read about that. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
So how are you
they're
supposed to
just
know?
secrets.
I think
You stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
There's also a
Alright.
moon on the door, but
yeah.
it's literally a circle.
There was
so-
a
Is there?
soul
Alright.
forge. Yeah, they're like shut tight with just like an etch of like what looks like a moon. But I just happened to be fucking around near one that opened. I was like, what?
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it was a soul forge, and those are dumb anyway.
What
I
was-
took those every time I stumbled upon them. Get
I
a
didn't
lot
even
of
notice
items.
that.
You do get a lot of items.
They even
What's
give you
everyone's secret
antidotes,
count?
which Danny didn't understand.
Never heard of it.
Wait, what did you say, Holden?
What was everyone's secret count?
15.
25.
I had 31, I think. Something
Dude, if you did, that's crazy, because I ended on 31 as well.
like that. Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's sick. I can't believe there's 100, dude. Because
Yeah.
I like really searched that game, and like 31 out of 100. Like that's nuts. I'm interested, like, to see where. I know you guys were talking about that one that got uncovered. I had no idea about that. Like, that took 20 years to uncover.
Oh, it's pretty wild. Like it's impossibly like hidden.
hmm
Yeah.
So in that video, because you watched it more recently than I did, Danny, you and Holden, was there any commentary on what's going on, or does it like just
I
show you how to
decided
do it?
muted. I was just kind of watching him do it, and he has like little things down at the bottom. It's like switch one. Here it is.
Okay, because I don't know if it's in the video, if I read it elsewhere, but the original concept was that that it's a holdover from like a beta version of the game, right? And the secret is supposed to be in the main game, and the switches were at the time in the beta version's like layout of the world map. They were at
like
the four
they made
corners of
sense
the world.
in that.
Yeah, the switches were at the four corners of the world or whatever. But they kept the secret in and rearranged the map, so now they're in fucking random ass
Oh,
places,
I like
you know. So made it even harder to find. There was no sense at all to it. And then I just think it's silly. You go in there and it's just like a pirate ship,
A
and
boat.
it's
Yeah. What?
nothing like particularly interesting, other than the fact that it took 20 years in assessing the game files and getting cryptic hints from one of the lead devs to get in there at all.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it was
It's
something
cool.
more interesting, but I like the idea itself. Like a super secret. That shit's
Uh-huh.
cool.
Stop
They hit
and
all the
swallow.
good game mechanics.
Yeah, you get the secret, and suddenly Kane's fast, and there's good hitboxes, and the dungeons make sense.
The game just becomes good.
That'd be a power move. I'll give it up.
That
would
would
be
be pretty
sick.
funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
If someone
dude,
actually
did you
did that-
miss the super secret? Oh man.
What were
It
you
actually
No wonder
just-
you
playing?
hated it.
It changes the game to Mega Man X. Like, wait, what?
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm kind of glad that Darth met. Like, I can't even remember because I was so checked out. It wasn't the Avernus Cathedral. It was, I think, the one before that. That dungeon that just went on forever. The one where there were like up and down like wooden paths, or wooden bridges. Like you'd go
Oh, yeah.
left, and then you'd come out on top and go right, and then you'd go up. Like I think that
Oh,
dungeon
yeah.
legitimately took me like an hour, and I didn't get stuck. And I was like, why is this so fucking long?
It
Because
was long,
all of the
yeah.
other dungeons, minus the cathedral, which that one's still not anywhere as long, like they're quick. Like they're like, here's 7 rooms, 8 rooms, you're done. And then that one was just like, here's the fucking mother. I was like, is this the final dungeon? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
The dungeons were really weird and inconsistent.
I will say I did like the Dollmakers dungeon. The music was good, the layout was cool, and like the the blow up teddy bears. Like that was kind of cool.
He looked so much like Pennywise. It was crazy.
But the music looped after like 30 seconds, and I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
God.
Yeah, I like how a lot of the like there's like a big build up to getting to certain like bosses or people you're trying to kill, and you get to them and Kain just chops their head off. that happens a few times in the game, and I'm just like, that's funny.
Yeah. And the
I
Malik fight
kinda
was
like
so dumb because
Yes, it
he
was.
only took damage from the third hit of the sword combo,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I wasted all my consumables on him.
Me
like-
too.
I was like, damn, this guy's buff. And then I just got frustrated, started mashing, and then realized I hurt him. And I was like, wait a minute. And then the way that fight ends, that you step on a teleporter, and it's like, no, I have the axes and it must fuck off. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
Yeah,
glad
that
we-
confused me also. Like where you don't kill him.
yeah, I'm like, well, there's just such a better way they could have done that. Like, after he
Yeah.
did that big wave, like, rather than you, like, fuck off to a corner and get teleported, and here's your axes, like, it could have just, like, knocked you over, and then, like, I don't know, or knocked you back and you teleported. It was just, like, it was I was like, did I just fuck up? Did I not kill him? Like,
Yeah. The game was full of shit like that, where it's like, did I do the right thing?
Yeah.
Do I have to do this over? Like,
It's one of my biggest complaints about the game actually is lack of like positive feedback from the game.
Yeah.
In certain cases, especially boss fights. Like, am I even hurting this dude? You know,
yeah.
Sometimes items would have feedback noises, or like, okay, I'm doing damage, and sometimes they wouldn't, but you are actually doing damage.
Right.
It's pretty weird.
like
This game
Danny
is
and
just
I.
full of inconsistencies like
Yeah.
that, and I don't know what's to blame, but it hurt it for sure.
Like Danny and I had the exact same experience with Malik, and I literally thought I was doing the wrong thing against William the Just, but no, it just took me like 5 fucking minutes
That
of
sucks.
wailing on him for him to die.
yeah, I was
I
thinking the
didn't
same
use
thing.
the
I'm
Soul
like,
Reaver.
I'm like, maybe I'm
Shit.
doing something wrong here. I was like, but I'm gonna do this for like 5 minutes and see if this works. And then he just exploded into blood, and all the dudes ran in the room. And Kain was like, haha, I've killed your bitch, and now you're my bitch. And I was like, what? I was like, I guess I.
So
Yeah.
it's funny, like the experience you guys had with William the Just or whatever his name is. That's what happened to me with Malik. So what I was doing was I'd hit once and then run, hit
Yep.
once
Uh-huh.
and then
Yep.
run, and I just kept doing that. Like, he wasn't hitting me, so I didn't have to heal. I wasn't using magic, and I was doing that. And like at a certain point, I was like, all right, like it's not just that he has a lot of health. Like, I'm clearly not hurting him. And yeah, at that point, I just I activated barrier and walked up to him and started mashing, and I won.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
That's how
wow.
a lot of the game is solvable that way, actually.
Pretty much.
Yeah, unfortunately, barrier is way
So
too strong.
overpowered.
Yeah, they make
Yeah.
it sound like it's only good on projectiles, but then like when you have it up and dudes are fighting you, and they're like, wait, these dudes aren't hitting me. I was like, oh, this spell is sick.
Yeah, you just mash attack and everyone dies.
But I think the concept of bosses only taking damage from like a 3rd or 4th hit in your combo is, I don't like it. I think it's bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I agree.
It is
There's
bad.
nothing. There's nothing prior in the game that's like, oh, you gotta hit this dude twice. Like, what? No, I hit him. It's a hit.
Yeah, things like
Not
that
even
definitely need
twice.
to be established
Uh-huh.
beforehand.
It's like hit him with this string of the combo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why they didn't just like throw in some more Kain voice lines, you know, some badass shit about being like, I'll have to strike him 4 times consecutively to
something.
fuck him.
That would have solved it, I guess. I like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
And also, the first time you ever like get where you stand on the triangle and it like goes into first person, and it like has the bat in the corner of the screen, and like that's supposed to indicate to you that you can fly directly to the location.
I don't
right?
know, but I picked up on that right away.
I didn't. I did not.
Yeah, I saw that cutscene where he was talking, and I was like, okay, cool.
Took me a
cutscene.
while. I wandered around for like an hour and a half until I went
Insane.
back again, and I was like, oh wait, that's the fucking bad icon. Fuck. Also, that actually reminds me. I wanted to say that I thought it was like really cool how you could use like the fast travel system to actually go somewhere you've never been before
Mhm.
because you could
It's
see it in the
stupid.
distance. I was like, I thought that was cool. I was like, hey, that's
Stupid.
that's
It
what
was
I've
cool.
always. I was like, why can't I just fucking do that in every other video game?
You can in Oblivion.
You see that mountain? Yeah, dang it. You already got me.
Except for Kavach, what the heck's going on over there?
So I know I already reacted when you were saying it, but I did the exact same thing. And when I finally realized that I could, dude, it makes me mad thinking about it because they introduced the whole concept of the stupid bat and the stupid fast travel by like, you gotta step on this green thingy, and now I can return here as a bat or whatever the fuck he says. So like, why would I think that, like, oh, just because I saw the thing that I'm like, oh, I gotta like get there. And so I also wasted an hour and a half of my fucking life wandering around when I'm supposed to just fly. Like, what?
Yeah,
So
like,
dumb.
I know, I will not defend that. I don't know why that clicked for me. I was like, oh, there's a bat. Maybe I should be a bat. And it was just like, now it's flashing red. And I was like, oh, cool.
I just figured it was the game just being weird. It's like, hey, put the bat guy there. He's cool, right? That face looks cool. Someone drew that. It took
Well,
effort.
why is the bat looking
The
at
face
me?
is pretty cool. He's pretty funny
No,
looking.
Every fucking the Crete werewolf face and the bat are just the dumbest thing. Every time I open the menu, I was like, oh god, I gotta look at that shit again.
I love that shit. It reminds me of that like meme image of like all the evil Spider-Man bad guys all like smiling in like a group photo. You know that one? I'm gonna find it. It's that shit made me laugh every time I saw his big old grin.
Dude, when I see that wolf face, I can hear the growl. Like,
Oh, the
crystal
jumping.
clear.
I just hear him sizzling in water.
That's funny. There were some dungeons that had like what appeared to be quicksand that also hurt you. What the fuck was that? It wasn't water.
Yeah,
Unless it was just brown
like,
water.
Yeah, it was like quicksand, but yeah, it definitely fucked you up.
Like that was confusing to me. Like obviously I learned to avoid it, but like it's just like why? Like why not just make it blue? Like what the why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
In my notes here I have teleporter maze and cathedral ... why?
Oh,
That shit was pretty
that's a video game sin right there. Colin like touched on the game, like saying combat being worthless and then being shoved in your face. But those teleporter dungeons where it's like which path goes where, like that shit is. It almost makes me want to just be like, well, I had my time with this game. So it was funny being already frustrated with this game, and then that slapped me in the face, and then the controller thing happened. I was like, oh god. Like, what did I do?
So, did you use that same patch that I used
No,
to play it on
I
PC?
I just played the GOG version.
Oh, you raw dogged it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just went nuts.
So I used the Kain GL patch, and I don't know if I think it made the controls different too.
I wonder if
but-
that's what caused your audio issues, because I never had any quiet audio.
Same.
Oh, that's probably what it was then.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest it might have been that. Yeah.
A lot of the dialogue, like to me, was super quiet.
Oh no,
I was
everybody's.
just like, oh, okay. Yeah, because I did a little reading before we started, and like I figured it'd be best to use that patch because it's an older game, right? And it doesn't have an official update.
Mhm.
It's just an old game.
Yeah, the GOG version worked pretty well out of the box. Like it even supported the Switch Pro controller, which was nice.
Oh, wow. Damn it! I shouldn't use that stupid ass patch. One thing that the patch did do that was cool though is it auto skipped the opening everything and just went straight to the menu.
Oh, that's
when I
kind of
launched
nice.
the game. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the story and idea and image of Kain are solely created by Silicon Knights, etc., so forth. I was like, man, they didn't want anybody being like, hey man, that's our shit too.
They probably had big plans, you know, for this
Well,
character.
Made 5
Apparently
games.
That did happen with their publisher, though.
Yeah, there was some litigious shit after this between them,
Oh.
Silicon Knights and Crystal Dynamics.
I
It's
see.
pretty sad because they obviously really cared about this IP and everything they established.
Yeah, I think they did a fantastic job establishing Kain as a character. Like he felt like an actual person to me. Like, the decisions he would make and the things he would say. It wasn't just like an archetype, like there's some cartoony dude who raises his eyebrow and cracks wise, you know. Or like the bad guy who's like, I'm bad, give me your blood. Like,
Why do I feel like you're referring to Zagreus from Hades?
I was referring just to like the general Fortnite
Cracking wise.
character design. Because like so many games, modern games that are like supposed to be more lighthearted, the characters are just constantly fucking being funny,
smug, and being like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, look at me, aren't I saying some witty shit?" Yeah.
I was playing the Ninja Turtle Splintered Fate with Ponch and Gale last night, and dude, like they never shut the fuck up with their stupid ass wisecracks. And like I don't know, like that's not like I understand like some games aren't supposed to be focused on character building, but some are, and the characters are just like so unrealistic and shallow, and like they might as well be like with one of those dolls where you pull the fucking string, dude, and like it just says a random line.
Cowabunga.
Yeah. But I don't know, Kain to me felt like a real person. Like I really enjoyed when you'd find one of those triangles and he would talk. I really liked that a lot.
Me too.
Like he would just give his thoughts on like what was in front of him, you know, and I thought that was really cool. And I don't know, it's weird to me because like I know you guys have seen me say this or heard me say this many times where like I don't like games where they explore like a character's like inner thoughts and emotions, but like like I don't want to be a hypocrite, but like that's exactly what they did in this game, and I really liked it. I don't know, maybe because it felt less, it wasn't like hammed up like a lot of games now, like where it's like that game where like all the characters are animals and it like purposely has a shitty frame. It's called like Goodbye Dinosaur High School or some shit like that. And like all the characters are like Breakfast Club ripoffs, and like they're all like, I have problems. Oh God, I'm such an emotional mess. It's like that. Yeah, I get it. That happens in real life, but like you don't have to like make that like everyone a caricature of that, right? I don't know. I really like the way they established Kain as a character.
Mhm.
That I think was my biggest like positive about this game. Like I loved it.
I agree.
Can we put Goodbye Dinosaur High School as on the wheel?
Is that
I'm
actually the
looking
name?
this up. It is. It's so like that, dude.
Damn, those were the days.
Goodbye
Dinosaur High.
Volcano High. It's called Goodbye Volcano High.
I like Goodbye Dinosaur High School way better.
Well, some of them are dinosaurs, so I was like, oh, maybe it's the Dinosaur High School. I don't know. It's called Goodbye Volcano High, and like, I understand what it's for and who it's for, but like, I just feel like they don't explore these types of things realistically. Like they're trying to hammer home a certain point, but they're doing it a little too ham-fistedly. You know, that there's no nuance. That's just how I feel. And I thought like this game did have nuance when it came to that, and that's why I enjoyed it more. It's like what's his name's kid, Kratos' kid. He's like, I'm a little shit. I'm annoying. I'm gonna say no to my dad. You don't get it, Dad. It's like, yeah, we understand that teenagers are like that, but they're also like other things too. So,
Good thing they didn't make half the next game all about him doing that. Oh wait. Or do our God of War Ragnarok episode in 10 years.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not quite 15 minutes. Or 15 hours. I don't think. Yeah, it's 15 hours of Atreus bitching, more like.
I think I would sooner play this again than God of War Ragnarok, so I guess that's
Oh my God.
that's the
saying
praise I
something.
have of that game.
That's not saying shit. That's not saying shit.
That game didn't have creep bat, that's for sure.
Look at that
No,
thing.
that is for damn sure.
I don't know. It's just like I don't want to sound just super negative, but because I do respect, like, I actually, when I first looked at this troubling bat screen trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing, I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, what's that in that lake? And I'm like, what is Vorador's mansion? Like, I was thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I liked the way this set up, even though I was desperately trying to fight the menu. But I was like, okay, I can get this. And I did like walking around the world and like kind of rubbing ham to figure out what unlocked what. But it was just like, when it fell apart in that, like the things that it kind of taught me, like, okay, here's what you have, here's the thing you do, go do it, and that backfired on me, and it backfired on Darth, Colin, like that. So I was like, wait a minute, maybe did they just get lucky in that it kind of worked the way I thought it should have, and then it's So many things could have gone right, but just went super wrong for me. Also, what did the light spell do beyond this dungeon? I forgot it existed.
Nothing.
There are a few dark rooms where it's useful, but for the most part, it's useless.
Like, wait a minute, what spell is that? Also, that one
there was
room.
one dungeon at the end of the game. I remember using it.
There's like you walk into a town, and I think it's in this gameplay footage, where you walk into a town. There's a shield emblem on the ground, like it's a spell or an equipment thing, and it's just an anvil and then like an empty room. And I think I spent
I never figured that out.
I spent like 10 minutes in there and thinking, oh, I get the shield in here.
Yeah, I forgot
only-
about that until just now that you mentioned
My
it.
first play, I tried to take over the blacksmith and make myself a shield, and then I was like, wait, that's... I'm being lit ass, we're wasting time.
I mean, no more lit ass than it just being nothing. Like, is it
I
something?
feel like they meant for something to be there. They just didn't take out the shield. Honestly, like why else would it be there? Just a random ass shield on the floor.
And it's
when
like
the game
on the
tells
floor,
you
like how you get upgrades, like the
yes,
same way.
exactly. Yeah,
I-
exactly.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, another funny thing that I forgot. You know, in the game, everything's a card, right?
Yeah.
Even like when
Yeah.
you kill the bosses, the items they drop are cards. In the fucking final cutscene, of
Yeah,
the game,
there's
the
2 cards.
Card is in the
You're
cutscene.
like, what?
thought that was
Inside
so
of you, there are
funny.
2 cards.
Like I understand, like during gameplay, it's just to make it easy. Like, oh yeah, here's an item. Like this is how it's represented, right? But in the cutscene, they could render that shit, right? Just like make the fucking item. But nope, it's a card that
Yeah.
rotates and
That
floats.
that did take me right the fuck out of that cutscene. I was like, whoa,
I thought it was
it
hilarious.
was pretty funny.
I laughed my ass off at that shit.
Nupraptor's hideaway was really cool. Like when it was just a skull in the mountain, and then you go in the eyeballs.
Yeah, I love that.
And you have
Dude,
the
that
Vista
was
points.
sick.
Yeah, like that was cool.
You look
Yeah,
into
one of
the
the-
one tainted eye, the twisted
Oh,
vision
yeah.
he sees.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Forgot
the
about
world
that.
is like
Cool.
all destroyed through one eye, and the other eye it's normal. Yeah,
That kind of mirrors the end of the game, huh?
it does. Yes, absolutely.
Ugh.
Well, it's no, all right. Well, you know what? Never mind. This game is just as good as Terra Enigma. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Fuck yeah.
Best game I ever played.
But I feel like I don't know. I'd like to hear. Like I know we said this about Nox also, but Nox we actually did get an answer. This backstory behind why it turned out the way it did.
Trash.
But I feel like there was some more going on behind the scenes because this game had like some half baked shit that honestly felt like they wanted to do something but couldn't for one reason or another. Like the shield on the floor reminded me of that.
Well,
It's
you know
like
what's
surely
crazy?
that had to be something, right?
Yeah. What's crazy is this game had a really long dev cycle for when it was made at 3.5 years, which is pretty fascinating.
That is
So
pretty
they
long.
actually baked this game for a pretty long time comparatively.
Maybe there was like turmoil and they had to like restart
Right,
a bunch of parts or something like that. I don't know.
It's just really
I just-
ambitious for its time too.
You can
It
tell that they had a lot of
definitely was.
ideas, right? So they probably had a hard time reining stuff in. It's probably why it was so long in development as well.
Like it's really easy when you're sitting down and thinking about what you want to do and coming up with all these cool ideas, and everyone, like your whole group you're sitting there with, is all excited. They're like, "Yeah, that's sick. This is gonna be so cool." Then you actually start doing it, and you're like, "Oh, this is hard." Yeah. I feel like they came up with this big grand world and this character and this plot, and then when they started implementing it, like for one reason or another, maybe budget, maybe just lack of experience and skill. Like I don't want to sound mean, okay, because I have no idea how to code. I have no idea. I'm not an artist. I don't know any of that shit. To me, it might as well be magic. But like any other skill, it's something you hone and you get better at, right? As time goes on, and the more you do it, and maybe they just weren't as experienced. Maybe their idea was too big for they're too big for their britches.
Too
you know?
big for the britches.
That's what it felt like.
This is a tangent, but I just can't help thinking about it because there's two big comparisons to Link to the Past. One being how the overworld functions with those like pseudo Metroidvania exploration and it being fairly linear. That kind of combination, the overworld expands with options. But the other one being, it's pretty rare from this era to have levels that have puzzles that span multiple rooms. And although this game does a lot to try and not streamline that, but guide the player, there's so many obscure cryptic moments where it's like, oh, I needed to solve for that a few rooms back. I bring that up because really this game made me think, man, they nailed Link to the Past the first time, 4 years before this.
Yeah.
I just kept having that thought nonstop playing this.
Well, I just think
Most of the games like that where they nail it the first time and it's like something revolutionary, like I don't know. That's why they're legendary, right? Like Doom.
Mhm.
Doom was made by 6 people in 1 year, and they nailed it, just like
small
Link to the Past.
small indie company.
Yeah.
But like, so you compare the overworld of this map, like those similar. Like, could you tell me that you have a mental map at all of this game's layout?
Hell no.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, hold it. Because I've
that's
played Link to the
'cause I have
Past twice, and I feel like I can remember where Hyrule Castle is. You go down, like you get to Link's house. You go left, Kakariko Village. In this game, I couldn't tell you shit for
Link to
fart.
the Past has way better landmarks, 100%.
Like,
I also think this game is just full of filler areas. That's just
Yeah.
random ass nature. Like
Yeah,
Basically.
Link to
That
the
all looks
Past,
the same.
every screen is intentional. Every screen
Mhm.
has a purpose. Like
Yeah.
it in this game, like a lot of it was meaningless. Like it was just there so you could walk through it.
yeah.
there could be a triangle. Aghast, I walked through and saw the bandits before I drank their blood. I'm like,
The
okay.
dog growled with ferocity as I slashed its throat and laughed.
I mean,
think,
I am interested in
think
the
we covered
sequels.
pretty much all of it, right?
Yeah,
Almost
game
done.
sucks.
Super, you said something that I was ready to like fucking sink my teeth into, and I was gonna mention it, and I was gonna be like, ugh. But is this the switches? Why the fuck were switches random shit all the time?
Yes,
I
yes, they were.
understand we're in different places. You can make them look like different versions, but stop making them different fucking things. And that you could reactivate them sometimes by walking by them.
Oh, the
Mhm.
accidental was so bad.
So one thing that I noticed, I'm not sure if this is true for every Switch, but it's fairly consistent. They glow.
Yeah,
They
they
all
have
glow.
a color to them. Yeah.
Yes.
But
And a lot
sometimes
of
there's random
dungeons-
lighting on other walls too.
Yes, there are. But I think the switches are always the same color in the dungeon. Like they're always they'll choose a color and stick with it, right, for switches. Like I don't know if that's 100% consistent throughout the whole game, but I found that to be a guide for me. Like I would see the glowing color on the wall and I'd go up to it, and even if I didn't think there was a switch there, a lot of the times I
Like,
didn't
is this
because
switch?
like you couldn't
Rubbing
fucking
hand.
tell what the hell you were looking at.
And the game actually does tutorialize that for you in the very first, like in his mausoleum, in Kain's mausoleum. It does tutorialize that to you. There's like a little
They
purple
don't-
colored switch.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a better job though.
It could have just
making it
been
cool.
not. Yeah, it could have just been not stupid. But
Yes, absolutely, 100%. They could have made it look like a switch, or like they could have like had it like glowing, like the outline of the sprite could have been glowing, something like that. You know?
yeah, a bit more visual distinction would have been nice
Yes.
for sure.
It's a
And-
funny design problem because an artist went, you know what, I want this to feel unique, and then it just pissed people off, like all that extra work.
Dude, that kind
Yeah,
of
that's
shit,
funny,
like,
eh?
That shit happens a lot. Like, like I just want to preface this. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to brag, like I'm a fucking game designer, but like you know, like making levels in Mario Maker and Mega Man Maker, and now in Doom, like a lot of the ideas that you think are cool, people fucking hate.
Yeah. Fucking Yamamoto Dojo, please. Like,
Yeah,
what?
And like I could see the artist, like Holden said, thinking, "Oh, this is neat. Like people appreciate this little detail," and everyone fucking hates. You're just like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But I get it. Another thing that I noticed in some dungeons, like they would guide you with like the path that you're, because sometimes you'd go into a hallway and there'd be 5 doors that were open, and if you weren't paying super close attention, you might not know which door you're supposed to go into next, right? Because you're opening certain doors and certain doors were locked before. Sometimes the doors would glow, and like they'd guide you with a glow.
They did the valve
I remember-
thing for light source.
Yeah, like a lot of the lighting in this game was really nice. Like I enjoyed like the torches, like had that orange like glow around it. Like,
Flicker, yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was cool. But like I feel like they definitely could have been more clear with how they were trying to guide people with the switches and which path to take. Because a lot of times you press a switch and you just hear the door open, and you didn't know which door opened.
One thing I do have to give this game credit for is on the map screen, like the start map, not this world map. If a door opens, it's open on the map. It changes.
Yeah, that is nice. That's a good point.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's
Can we also like? Did anyone else like accidentally start a new game every single time
Oh,
they
yeah,
started a new
absolutely.
I
session?
did that in the beginning a few times.
Every time, bro. Every time, and I'd be like, no.
You load game in options, bro. Get with it.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that though? Like, what?
Yeah, that's another head scratcher, right? Like, why not
Like,
just have a
whoa.
load game right below?
Why?
the game?
Yeah, why?
And it's not like that was a new thing either. Like,
Oh, doesn't
there
make
were
any
so many
sense.
games before it that had new game and load game on the main thing.
Only
They
the
just-
Silicon Knights know why.
They liked just being a little obscure. They enjoyed the obscurity a little
We're
bit.
gonna
I
bury
think.
the
That's what
load
it
game.
was.
I think that's probably just a I think it's clearly a design decision. Just it's annoying, honestly.
They're just being cheeky,
Yeah,
I guess. But like you gotta reel that in sometimes, you know.
yes.
There's a time and a place. And the fucking load game button, I don't think is the time.
Yeah, is where you want to start fucking around.
Yeah. There's plenty of other opportunities for that.
Well, I think we've exhausted our gripes and our misviewed ambitions and likes, what have you. We ready to kind of go out with our closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I will say, like, I'll go ahead and start. Like, I finished every session, but the first one, I was just hating every second. I didn't want to play. Every time there was something else that annoyed me, like if it was the ambiguous switches, I can't tell if I'm hurting Malik. Why do I have the axes now? Do I need to go back? Like, why am I at Vorador's mansion? What am I doing wrong? What the hell's going on with this story? Like, it was just, maybe I should have spaced it out more, but I don't think I ever would have liked it more. I do agree with you guys that Kain's a pretty cool character. Sometimes I did want him to be like, okay, yeah, like it sounded like a high schooler reading out of his Trapper Keeper vampire diary. And I was like, okay, yeah, But then sometimes he would like let some shit rip like that, like when coincidence is too much, he likes to call it fate. I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of spitting. Like, and the world is cool, but it's just like they did it so badly. Like, it was poorly executed. Like, there's too much shit. Nupraptor, Bane, and people with crazy names. I don't know who's talking. I really don't know. Like, the whole thing, like, what I really understood was, like, quest for vengeance. I'm going to do me, and whoever gets in my way is going to get fucked up, which is what happens. And he gets played for being single-minded like that. So that was pretty cool in the story. But then that ending, like, I know Darth was saying, like, it's cool to have agency in your ending. But the ending, I'm going to meme on Mass Effect 3, I think it was, might have well have been blue or green because they didn't fucking matter. Like, this is evil. He's drinking the cup. This is good. Look at all the trees. Like, I was like, yeah, whatever. And I say this, like, with wanting to check out the sequels, is I will never play this game again. I probably won't think about it ever again. And I understand they kind of put their heart and soul into it and they had something really cool, but it was just not for fucking me.
Fair enough.
That's more than fair, Donnie.
Yeah.
I
I don't hold
was
any of that against you. 'Cause
I was gonna come in
agree.
swinging, like super fucking but now I think, like, I was gonna give this game a 2 out of 10. And the 2 was going to be for I liked this world map and the places on it, and then some of the visuals were cool. But now I know that's mean. That's mean. Like, there's more to this game than that. But that only bumps it up one spot. So I'm tying it with Clock Tower. I give this game a 3 out of 10.
Dang.
That's fair enough.
It
So
is
it's
fair.
a 3?
It's a 3.
Oof.
It was going to be a 2, but, you know, that's too mean because there is some good in here. just not nearly enough of it.
Stiff.
I don't blame you for any of that. Like, I get it totally. So, as a contrast, I'll go next. It is undeniable that this game has quite a few flaws when it comes to critical aspects that lend themselves to long-term enjoyment. You know, making you want to keep playing it and making it feel good to play. But for me, just the world and the characters and just the feel, like the atmosphere, was enough. Like it triggered a part of my mind. Like, I don't want to say like almost childlike, but like earlier when I mentioned that walking across the lake was fun, because I imagined like a real mist guy walking across the lake, right? And that's what made that part, I guess you could say, tolerable. It was I more than tolerated it, though. I actually did think it was cool. But I totally understand. And when I first started playing this game, like, my very first impressions were, this is amazing. But then as time went on, it was like, oh, I don't think I like this game. But then I would go back and forth. I would like explore and find stuff and think this is really cool. But then I'd go back to saying, oh, this sucks. Like, it doesn't feel good to play. I don't like the dungeons. And that back and forth kept happening. But as time went on, as my playthrough progressed, the pendulum started leaning more towards the good, and eventually it stayed there. And I do agree, though, that like the ending was stupid. Picking good or bad, like, it made zero difference. And I understand, like, it's neat, yeah, you can be good or bad, but I feel like they should have implemented that mechanic throughout the whole game. And choices you make as the game progresses changes things, instead of just, here's this picture, or here's this picture as the fucking choice. Yeah, I mean, it's an older game, but that's no excuse. That's why I'm very curious about Silicon Knights at this time and where they were and the way development went and things like that. We may never know, because I don't think no one's talked about it, or no one's made a documentary or written about it or anything like that. So I have to give this game, if I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 7.25 out of 10.
Respectable.
Because I enjoyed most of it. The majority of the time I spent with it, it felt good. Not to play, to experience. Next.
I can go next.
Go.
Yeah, so I think that there was a lot of things about this game that frustrated me, and I'm really glad that I didn't finish it, but also take my score with the caveat that I didn't finish it, and I think it would have been lower if I had pushed myself to do so. Like, a lot of the dungeon crawling felt kind of like a no tension having slog. The overworlds less so, to a degree, because there was a lot of secrets and fun stuff to find, which I appreciated and I liked. I really enjoyed the perspective of Kain as a character, and pretty much anytime I saw one of those red triangles, I would get excited, and I would almost always be pretty delighted by the voice acting. And I really feel like I was kind of like pulled into this like grounded, dark, gothic kind of world, which felt pretty unique to me, and I felt genuinely inspired by what I saw and by what I heard. And so those kind of like artistic bits were really engaging versus the very unengaging parts that I just talked about shitting on. And, you know, there's other bullshit that we won't reiterate, but I won't anyways. So I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 because I enjoyed parts of it that I really enjoy in games, and with being story and world building, but the gameplay was really just made it too painful to finish and enjoy fully, I think.
I like that score.
I like that too.
Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Let's hear it.
So I think we kind of covered all the reasons this game sucks. I do think I don't think I said at the start. I do think the vibe is cool and like the art and atmosphere and stuff. And I did like it at first. Honestly, it just took a huge nosedive at one point, and it's just super rough. Really no enjoyment out of actually playing the game. Yeah, some cool ideas, I guess. Good voice acting from Kain, at least. I don't regret playing it. I don't regret not finishing it. At the very least, I'm glad we were able to have this discussion, of course.
Yeah.
I give it 1 Vevictus out of 2 Nut Raptors.
That's good.
Fantastic. Love it.
Clown, would you like to?
Yeah, I'll go next, and I'll be quick, so you can send us home. Like Chris, I'm not gonna go into the details. You guys know what I liked and what I didn't like. I want to give this 6. Let's be generous, 6.5.
Very
Nice.
generous, very kind. You're so kind and generous.
So kind, so generous.
Insane.
With my closing thoughts, there's one final thing I want to say, which is, like Donnie and Super, hearing it just now, the binary ending choice, especially being in cards, I do find that funny. It really didn't resonate at all with me my first playthrough. And again, going out of my way to try and understand this game's story, made it hit better this time. And just to kind of mirror what I was saying earlier, kind of paraphrase to get the idea across better. Again, I've never picked an evil ending where I was like, okay, this is me choosing this. But this one, it really is like, why would Kain sacrifice himself for this damned world? And it's a pretty cool thought exercise, like Darth was saying, how the whole game lends you into that perspective. So, yeah, just to say, as simple as a boring ass binary choices at the end, it somehow worked really well for me. Again, not first playthrough, but this one. And beyond that, I don't really have any other thoughts to mirror. Really not enjoyable to play, but wow, am I glad I played it even twice. So, Donnie, I don't think I could ask you to play it again. That's asking a heck of a lot.
Nope.
But maybe Super, if the ending didn't hit and you're thinking about this game 3 years, 5 years down the road, I encourage you to play it again and soak in those elements somewhere.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you when you talk about, like, it makes sense. Like, the game leads you naturally to making a choice that makes sense for you. I just wish it was more than 10 seconds of trees or 10 seconds of him sitting on a pile of skulls.
Yeah, it was
Totally
That's-
fair.
Yeah.
But with that, oh man, this is the first time the score is just flying all over the place, even when I'm trying to say it. But I'm gonna say this game. Oh man, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Wow. Even higher than me, huh?
Yeah, 0.25 higher.
Interesting. It scored higher than I thought it would, on
Yeah.
average, honestly.
I mean, me and Chris were its biggest detractors. It's just
I didn't think Colin would give it a score as high as he did.
I was overall very, very positive. Like I said, in like the overall experience, just the gameplay sucked.
Yeah.
But I kept, like I said, I think this speaks for itself. The fact that I like have Clair Obscur and want to play it, and it's like honestly one of the best games I've ever played. And WoW, which I love to play, but I kept wanting to come back and play this, even though I was mad about it most of the time. That it's a very conflicting experience. Which is what's interesting about it.
It's
Totally.
definitely it kind of split us. Yeah, I'd say down the middle, because if you have like two people on the higher end, like Super and Holden, two people like kind of closer to the middle, you and Darth, and then me and Chris down at the bottom of the toilet. Like, it's interesting how one game can kind of just like beat that split. And it's just like we all have our reasons, we all have our thoughts and decisions, and clearly me and Chris are right. But no, but that's the whole reason we're here. And Chris,
Absolutely.
you don't, like you said in the beginning, like you said, I'm sorry I picked this. Like, no, like even though I did not enjoy my time with the game, it was 100% worth every minute I suffered for sitting down here and kind of being able to talk about it, because that's fun. So I've got my fun out of this game, if you will. It took a little bit of, roundabout.
That's so good rationalizing. I like it.
It gotta have some positivity in there.
Yeah, I like that. Is it time for everyone's favorite
It's time
part?
for everyone's favorite part. And let me preface it by, you guys don't even fucking know what this wheel is. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
Boom.
I'm getting an ad. No.
He's getting an ad.
No.
Ladies
So
and
everyone's back
gentlemen,
on the wheel.
Everyone is
including
back
myself.
on the wheel.
Oh, wow, look at this.
So we got
Hell yeah, dude.
such a
Hell
less
yeah.
chance of getting Simon's Quest.
Wait, Dragon Quest Monsters Rocket
Oh, shit.
Slime.
Yeah, we're playing it again.
Let's
Okay.
go, dude. Fuck yeah.
Dude, no way it lands on that.
Leave it. Leave it. Just leave it.
No, because that affects the percentages. Hold on.
Soul Blazer, come on, man.
Why do you say Soul Blazer? Come on, man. Huh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro.
So we can finish the illustrious Soul Blazer trilogy. That's why he said that. Okay, it's back. Thank you for pointing that out. I must have copied one that was either struck through or not struck
Wait,
through.
Mystical Ninja. Oh.
What?
Is that the one we played?
No,
No,
that's the
Nintendo
N64 one.
64.
Okay, I thought
Oh,
you were
who's
just...
that? I've been wanting
Mine.
to play that for years.
That's my pick.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna find out what pick and whose pick it is, because right now it's time to spin that wheel.
Woo!
Oh, no, you can't react. No reacting.
Oh.
Okay, you can react.
The Sega Genesis.
That's one of my picks.
Man, we were close to Lost Kingdoms. I was like,
I've heard of
huh.
this game before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this game.
This is a video game. We're going back to the Genesis.
Yeah, I know this game.
Because our only Genesis. Oh no, we played Crusader Senti and Alien.
That was
Soldier.
hardly a game, though.
It was hardly a game.
And Shinobi
But
3. We
Alien
played a lot
Soldier
of
was,
Genesis,
like,
actually.
Extra a game. So.
Yeah.
And Shinobi, like Chris said.
Oh yeah, Shinobi. Yeah, we played a lot of Genesis games. All right, let's go Genesis. Apparently the Genesis wasn't.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, I was like, where am I
It
going
did.
with this? How can I say this?
You didn't even say what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, I was trying to keep Nintendo out of this. This is about the Genesis, all right?
Okay.
If you mention them, they'll sue us and do
Yeah,
this.
well,
That's
it's
right.
too late. We're sued. I'm broke. I'm homeless.
Look forward to the Rystar sequel that we're finally going to get you guys by playing this. Wouldn't that be some shit if they finally remaster fucking Blood Omen?
Dude.
Because they're
I'd
doing
freak
Soul
out,
Reaver.
Legit. I would legit freak out if they remastered the game we just played.
We
Yeah.
would have some kind of magical power.
Yeah.
All right, but
All
we'll
right,
have to
well.
see if that magical power holds true for Rystar and the Genesis, which this will be, I feel like, more back to basics. Now we're not going to be playing like nerd PC game. We're
Yeah,
finally
dude,
getting
I had
away.
the
We're
same
getting to the
thought.
home consoles.
This is sitting on the carpet with your legs crossed in front of the CRT with the console on the ground.
Yep,
And a
That's what
ham
this is.
sandwich in front of you.
and a Capri
Yeah.
Sun on the other side.
Exactly.
All So, Darth, we won't subtract any points for you for being late this time.
I'm sorry. This is my first time.
Yeah, no,
Normally,
I'm
I'm
just-
super.
I'm just poking fun. But
I
one
fucking
demerit.
passed out so hard, bro.
hey, at least you showed up. Like you're here. You were here. You attended. Perfect attendance.
Absolutely.
I woke up in a sweat.
Yeah. Oh God, book club. But book clubs are worth waking up for. Darth, Super, Chris, Holden, Colin. This was a juicy one. I enjoyed this one just because I got to vent. I've been waiting to fucking vent about this damn
Dude.
game.
One thing, real quick before we end, when we first started our discussion and you finished, because you went first, right? As it was going to the next person, you literally were growling.
Yep.
This game made
You
me
were
so
literally
mad.
growling, dude. I thought that was really funny.
But like I said, it was all worth it for the discussion. So I hope
Yes.
that you guys had a good time. Hope everybody, the home studio audience, had a good time. Thanks for everybody being here, hanging out, watching. Leo, you too. Biting at my toes this whole time. But we will be back in another month or so for the following episode, which will be Rise Star on the Sega Genesis. Thanks, guys, for. Oh, they just all left.
Okay, already gone.
Yeah, cold. Anyways,
Goodbye.
thanks for joining. We'll see you next
See ya.
time.
Bye.
Thanks as always, guys.
Catch you guys later for the next episode. Seriously Casual, also known as Video Game Book Club.